Okay, so welcome to our session number 79, or season 7, episode 7. I'm sure it will be a lucky episode for at least someone. You're up to day 25 in this season. It is video 655. And I've got some shipboard music from Sirenscape in the background to add the spooky theme to the October-ish time we're in. Okay, at the table today we have Peter.
Greetings! Yes, I'm Peter. I'm playing the illustrious Sergeant Garm von Jewel, human quartermaster of the Alliance, current captain of the refueling ship we've managed to steal, kind of?
Technically you have stolen it.
Technically. And somehow brought them directly to our base, our main base, which is just awesome. Fantastic planning.
At least it's not high command, it's only sector command.
Yeah, only sector command. It's still.
It's still painful enough as it is.
Yeah, strategy is not our strong suit, unfortunately.
Well, that's why it is early in the rebellion and not actually late stages, because if this was, say, between episode 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, it would be quite devastating.
And our sister team, Team A, they seem to have been wiped out.
White team. Poor Wookie.
Yeah.
That's the only one that I know.
Roomba!
Also at the table is Ariadne.
I'm the NA True Striker, Talon of the Clan, aka Intrepid Leader. Yes, if you're a question mark in there is a question mark in there. I'm currently, I think, midship, having successfully convinced my second not to blow the entire ship up and kill the chief engineer, who we need in order to regain control of the ship. Is that droid that we had with the buzzsaw and the phaser still active? Or did we manage to just...
Someone destroyed it, I believe.
We destroyed it. Okay, so at least we don't have that. But, yeah, now I have to get stunned chief engineer to one of the bridges. We have to persuade him that we're not pirates but rebels, to join the rebellion and to fix our 8-kilometre long fuel train, warn the rebel base on the planet that's in sight now that the Empire's on our tail, leave, hopefully before the Empire arrive and annihilate us, and suddenly I'm feeling like my talent is pretty blunt right now. But hopefully, my other second, Khalid, and Brum and Garm, between us and Ash, we'll manage our way out of this situation.
Which brings us to the 2 players online today. We have is Mark.
I'm playing the Ash Guard, big gun chip specialist. Also, I don't know what I was doing last session, so I will listen to the people that were there. So.
Well, your character was knocked unconscious by the entry into the Black Ice, and spent the entire session in the secondary bridge waiting to wake up.
Okay, I'll go with that. Sounds good.
So, technically your character has no memory of what happened.
I'm happy with that. But there was a can't get in trouble for anything. Good, gotcha.
And next online we have is Mike.
Hello, I play Brum Brum Crash, a Gungan ace pilot and pod racing and ship racing specialist. I am from the Panorama Mountain Raceway of Naboo. I am 2.2 meters tall with a pink and purple mohawk.
And I'm going to see how well the fates are looking at you today.
Uh,
Well, we have 2, 4, 5 of those, and 2 of those. I didn't have to change anything. Almost identical to the last session.
so they're all dark side?
Well, 5 out of 7 on the dark side.
Right. Cool. So we can flip the points over. Hooray!
You've got 2 whole points to flip over.
I was gonna say, there's no one here to roll triumphs for us tonight.
I can roll triumph against you tonight.
No.
And you're currently doing a storyline based around something called the Black Ice, which is the big Uber supercarrier that carries 1 billion units of fuel. It's amusing how they set it up in 9 different storage holes to add together to 1 billion. 110 million in each of them. It was just, the whole sort of adds together. It's close enough.
Yeah.
And considering how hard it is to get the fuel, it is quite a big task to have taken it. Last session we had 2 parts of the storyline called Tracking the Ice and Chief Engineer Skolos before we finished up the session. Now we're up to the section called The Blitz, so you're up to episode 5 of the storyline. Now that you have brought the Black Ice back to the Mortok Sector Command, which you didn't know where the planet is, but hey, it doesn't matter anymore now. You do end up getting a comms from the planet.
I'm on the bridge.
Yep.
I have it put through my station.
That they're requesting the person on the other side is simply putting in a request for you to bring your staff down as soon as possible because they're having a war meeting now that the Empire knows their location.
That'll be
How?
2 people in call.
We don't have shuttles or anything, do we?
You asked that out loud?
I'll ask the other people on the bridge. Are our shuttles working at the moment?
They go, yeah, we've still got our group of shuttles in the hangar.
We're still sharing calls.
That's amazing. Okay.
Well, each end comes with shuttles, they say.
Okay. Then we shall shuttle down to the surface of the planet.
We're still sharing calls. Like, can I hear that he's received this call?
Potentially, if he opened up the comm to you.
Well, I'm assuming it's coming through the.
The message came through the main communication system.
Yeah.
Belay that? Clarify whether they want us to come down singularly and leave the ship unattended with all the fuel that they want. That's not quite in our control. Or whether we should split, because at the moment we do not have full control of the ship. I personally comms that to I'm like, we do not have full control of the ship. We cannot leave the ship right now, all of us.
I will answer back to the planet and say, understood. Unfortunately, we're...
And then you hear this crackle as everything just goes dark. You just got these red flashing lights, and one of them goes, power seems to be out, sir.
Do I have...
And
No.
I do a computers check to see if I can remedy the power.
You can. I'll just move over to
You?
Ariadna first. Yeah.
Let me know when I get a turn to do stuff. Obviously, possibly after.
What is it you want to do?
I want to go up to our Sun's chief engineer from where I am. I'm guessing Clown is.
Okay, so that's what you're wanting to do at this point.
Yeah,
So,
and I want to revive him at some point.
so going over to Brum Brum Press, you're tapping the computer, the buttons, everything there, and from your expert opinion, it's got no power.
Again, if I've got open comms, I'll say negative, Brum Brum Crash. There's a person here who seems to have full control of the ship. I believe he's the chief engineer. I need to revive him, and we need to see if we can get him to cooperate to give us control of the ship back.
Okay.
Unless QT-70 override or QT-70.
Well, QT-70 is, I believe, still on the bridge.
He is.
He's pointing out, seems they've done a complete system shutdown.
Is there anything you can do about that?
Not from here. Someone's even shut down the backup system.
So where do you need to be to do something about it?
Most likely you have to take me to the main reactor.
Which is...
Most likely in the very center of the engine section.
Side or their side?
Both sides have it.
Okay.
Okay, I am doing that for you now. I just gotta remember how to get to it.
That page full of links is not intimidating at all. I was going to say, did people need to do the summary or what we kind of... Because I'm not sure. It was only Mark that was absent last time.
Okay, so that is the big view of it from the outside. The top command center does have a hangar on the back of it. And so it has, that's the living area for all the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas all these areas here have different things that you've got to get down to. So you have to basically manually restart all the engines.
You do essentially you are here versus where we need to go.
Okay, so Ariadna, Kesley, Thea, Kayana, and Khalid are in the maintenance section, whereas Brum Brum Crash and Garm are in there, and at the moment Mark is in the back, which I should probably give them a bigger screen of. So Mark, your character's currently in this section here, called Auxiliary Command.
Okay, I'm just unconscious, I assume, is it right?
You'll have woken up around now, and the rest are in the command capsule. Okay, so
We have to get down to manually start those engines from where?
from the command center.
Oh, so from where we are.
Yep.
Okay.
Just that all the automated systems have shut down.
Right. So when QT-70 says he has to go to, I can't remember what you said.
The engine core.
The engine core. Where do we have to get into?
Well, there are 9 of them.
Right.
So
Anyone will do?
he may have to go to all of them.
Okay.
Who's the fastest runner?
And he says it may take a couple of days to warm the engines back up again to be able to power the ship. It's not designed to be shut down.
Danberic.
He does theorize for you that it would be the perfect way to strand someone. The ship achieved orbit and then shut itself down.
So when I came, and it's Mac, wake me up patch on the engineer.
Okay. So which ones do you have?
I have a med pack which I've got both kinds. I've got the I think I always mix them up with Shadow Run between a heavy slap, stim.
All good. So you slap a patch on him, he starts to come around.
I'll take my helmet off so he sees a face rather than
The intimidating mask of death.
yes. And I'll just I presume because of last session I worked out he was an engineer.
You believe he was the head engineer of the ship.
So I will tap his face very softly and I'll say, Chief, we need you to wake up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Yeah, I am awake.
The ship is non-functioning right now and
It's okay, the Empire will fix it when they get here.
negative, we are rebels. We really don't want to wait for the Empire to come here.
No, pirates are here.
No pirates. just rebels. Just rebels. The rebels desperately need this fuel.
Okay, so we're going to be going for a persuasion roll.
Yes.
Because
I don't have anyone with me to help me persuade. I don't even have Carla to loom.
I was surprised you didn't take him to Gum first.
Well, did I have that option?
Well, you wanted to wake him up then and there and start asking him, so you wanted to.
Yeah, well, look, I'll have to do it this way because, you know, I didn't think that I could carry him back to the...
Well, technically you could have had Khalid and Kayana pick him up
You
for
point
you.
this out now. But it's too late.
Would you like to do that instead?
Yes.
Okay. And luckily for you, with your armor, you can scale the turbo lifts instead of using the lifts.
This works out really well for us.
Okay, probably take you about an hour or so to get to the bridge.
Okay, I will do that then.
Well, since Brum's the only other character there with me, I'll ask him how he feels about going to these engine areas with our droid to restart the engines.
And sorry, Martin, you said it'd take a day to get to all of them.
It would. Well, once you get them turned on, they'll probably take a day or so to warm up safely to actually be able to be run again.
Can I also slide in there that I'll have communicated to Gar and Brum that I'm heading their way with the engineer?
Sure.
Well, I guess I can. And there's no way to start the process remotely.
No, the systems are all shut down. Even the computer core is completely offline, so it was basically designed as a way of technically scuttling the ship so it can't be used until help can arrive to save it.
Right.
Which, when you think about it, is probably what a chief engineer would do.
Yeah.
The pirate would then be able to walk off with all the fuel.
Well, I mean to say potentially we can get to all of them, but Sorry, did Thea tell us that that they're bringing the engineer to us?
Yes. I also might also suggest someone should check to see if Ash is back up online. Yeah. Or maybe
well,
Ash could hear the chatter. I'm not sure.
Misa, we wait until Thea and the others get here with the engineer.
Okay.
Because otherwise, speaking to players, otherwise we start going off and and potentially get trapped because the engineer flips a switch, then we're screwed. But
I think you guys should check on Ash. One of you should check on Ash, and if he's conscious, that just gives us more resources. Because I presume at the moment that Khalid and Kayana, well, not necessarily unconscious, definitely not functioning.
Can we use the comms to message the bunker place that Ash is?
Yes, you managed to. It's still within 50 kilometers of your source, but you might have to do the whole get to a window to make sure there's not too much metal between you and them.
Do the Lion King maneuver.
Yeah.
Okay. Misa does the Lion King maneuver with the comms device. Attention, Ash. Are you there, Ash?
So Ash is getting the signal now.
Where am I? Who are you?
You do have a big lump on your head because apparently they found out that when they said there was about a 10% loss in life of the ship, it was that entire 10% was always the pilots.
Why have I got a lump on my head? Oh. That's the first couple of lines you get out of me. Okay.
And you hear over the comms, that would be your nose, coming from QT7.
Misa says the power has been turned off on the ship. Sorry, to the engines. And we're looking at ways to turn it on.
Did I know we're on the ship? Or I don't know how much knowledge I had, man.
You remember crashing into the ship because that was the entire plan, and that's the last thing you remember.
I'm on the ship. I don't know where I am at the moment.
You can see the hole in the side of the view screen next to you, and inside that hole is where you crashed.
I know we came there, and I'm just not really knowing who I'm talking to right now at all. But I'm just going, I don't know where I am. Where are you guys?
And your arm is telling you that life support is currently offline in the ship.
Oh. Who did what? Hang on, let me get my bearings. I'll look around the room. Do I see any signs of where I am at all?
You do see a sign saying you're on the auxiliary bridge.
Auxiliary bridgey thingy-jig? That makes sense there, Brum?
Misa looks at Garm and shrugs. At least, Misa say, at least Ash is awake.
Do we need to get off the ship now? I see our crashed ship over near me. Do you need to get that set up?
Misa says, can you check the ship and see if it's repairable?
Okay. Talk soon.
Comes back with us in 20 minutes.
Okay.
By then,
I might need a tablet for my headache, but okay.
because by then they and the others should be back with us.
So I'll go check on the ship that we crashed into the ship.
You check on the ship. The ship is a complete write-off, which is not too unsurprising as they are a single-use entry vehicle.
I say to myself, not on comms. Bloody Broom Broom again.
But you're the one driving, I believe. No, Broom Broom was actually driving, I believe. I think you're in the seat next to him.
As I said, bloody Broom Broom. BBB. Not BBB. Broom Broom. Okay. BBBBC. Yeah. As the acronym, but okay. I'll make sure that I have everything on me that I should have on me, like big guns, things like that. Make sure that she's all looked after. And I'll just look around this room and see if I find anything that's useful. So.
Okay, so you're a bit frustrated that your big gun wasn't on the ship and you don't know where it is.
Did I bring any guns with me, or
no?
I'm looking for a weapon first up because
you have a blaster pistol, and that's all you have.
Okay. I'm still looking for anything else that around the place that might be useful. Like, I don't know. I'll just look around. Just see.
Okay, it looks like you'll be making a check. So
I
that
can do
would
that.
be a perception check to see if you can find something very useful while you're here.
My absolutely 2 green.
Okay.
That can't go bad.
I perceive this is not going to go well.
I knew that straight away when he's at perception. Yeah.
Your head is really hurting. You take 3 strain. But you do see that there is a blinking light on one of the consoles.
Oh. I'll try to examine. Oh, I got computer skills as well, don't I? Can I determine what that blinking light is?
Well, it has drawn your attention, so obviously it's meant for you.
Must be. I'm going to try to work out what it means. Do I need computers for that one?
I will make it an education check.
Oh, that's even better. Which one?
So
Just education? That's 2 yellow, 3 green, right? And because I've seen a lot of things as my enhancement on it. Oh, no, so if I fail, okay, don't worry about that. Yeah. 2 yellow, 3 green for me.
Okay.
That looked reasonable from what I saw. Maybe.
Okay, you get 1 success.
That's all I need to know that what it is.
Okay, so you're looking at it. It appears to be the emergency startup system.
It's blinking. Okay.
You're not sure if it means there's a problem with it, or you just hit it as many times as you can.
Hit the button and an emergency starts up.
So is it just a light here, or is there a functionality next to that light?
Oh, there's
Or do I-
buttons everywhere. So imagine you're looking at an entire wall full of buttons, and there's just one blinking light.
I think that deserves a comm message. I have got a feeling about that. So I'll go. I'll go where I can feel I can get a comm signal and just mention. Ship kaput because of a certain person driving it. But I found a blinking light in the here, which talks about So, did you want me to go check it out? If we know where we'll have to check it out from.
It almost sounds like he was doing an Evil Dead, stealing the book of evil.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm sure the words weren't important.
Do I need to do a computer check or anything to, from my knowledge, of whether
We shall make it another education check for BBs for our program crash.
education? 3 yellow, 3 green.
He's better than me.
Well,
That
he is a smart Gungan.
Yeah, well, hang on. That's a term that we shouldn't use a lot, man. Come on, seriously.
Well, he's also a coordinated Gungan.
Okay, that's okay then. Yeah.
A smart coordinated Gungan. I'm sure that is just a niche sort of entry.
I'm still taking this on. It's taking a while to use this.
Well, 3 blank dice isn't bad.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Okay, 3 successes. From what Vroom Vroom Crash knows, and looking around, he didn't think there'd be anything powered on this ship besides the flashing lights saying evacuate ship.
Okay.
And you probably think that it may actually be able to restart everything. It might be the controls reverted to the auxiliary bridge instead of the main bridge. That might have been part of the plan to strand it, because who would go to the auxiliary bridge when it's not designed for people at this stage?
Misa says to Ash, press the button.
Gotcha.
What could go wrong?
I have seen enough Top Gear to know you don't play that.
I take, based on my current bump in the head state, I believe that the Gungan actually knows more than me at the moment. So I'm going to go press the button. Do I need to do any rolls for that roll, Martin? Or?
You could probably do a hope for the face to save you roll.
I had a good life. I did it for the team, I did it for the people.
You push the button, the light goes out. All the red lights blink out.
Okay.
Completely dark across the board.
I pressed it again.
It's still pressed in.
Oh, okay.
Hasn't popped out.
Okay.
So all the red lights have gone out.
All lighting has gone out.
Oh, all lighting has gone out.
Yeah, I might be going through a restart phase, I'm thinking to myself.
And I think this would be about the time to do a coordination check for Thea, the chief engineer, and the others in the access shaft.
I would like to also say that I haven't taken my helmet off just yet, and I do have light on my helmet. I know because I asked for it, and he asked us what we wanted. I know I'll still have to do a coordination check, but at least I won't be completely in the dark.
Sorry, did you say white or light?
I've got light on my helmet.
Ah, L. Okay. I thought you meant the colour.
Well, sure as heck not pulling out my lightsaber to light up the room.
Oh, come on.
Fun,
Person falls over and grabs for the lightsaber to hold themselves up. Yep.
I just would have pulled out the lightsaber, by the way, just to let you know.
There's the fun stuff, and then there's the fun stuff that'll kill you.
As I learned from Sparky, there's always fun things to do. Okay?
Okay, from going dead silent to not a single sound going across the vessel except people breathing and walking. Suddenly there is a big lurch
Okay.
as we've got Thea with Kayana and Khalid carrying the unconscious chief engineer up an elevator shaft.
Yep. And do we all fall down? Is that another sound? I'll go, ah, or we'll have scream if you want to do that.
I have one.
No, I wasn't asking you.
There you go.
Please, let that just be an example of what could have happened, but not what did happen. Because I can't see those dice.
Okay, so all four of you are flicked off the grips you were hanging onto and start to tumble. You manage to grab a ledge about 100 meters down.
And I'm still holding the chief engineer.
You have the chief engineer. Unfortunately, Khalid and Kayana kept going. I'm sure they'll catch up when they remember they have jetpacks.
Is this the point where I can just start using my boots?
You could.
Will my boots carry me and the chief engineer up the elevator shaft?
It will, though it would be slow.
Do I know if it's worth spending the energy and resources of the boots in order to get up more safely than one?
Well, gravity was still going in the ship, so that did mean that something still had some power somewhere. Gravity free would have been the easiest for you to get around. Your boots would have allowed you to take all four of you on just your boots alone.
So I need to keep climbing then?
Boots are a great way to save you from falling.
Okay, I'll engage with the boots. But before I do, I'll check to make sure that Kayana and Khalida haven't fallen to their deaths and don't need help. Or don't need help. And that they're okay to make their own way up the shaft while I go on ahead with the engineer.
Apparently Khalid is carrying Kayana because Kayana forgot to refuel her jetpack.
Oh.
After the episode of firing it off last session, managed to run out of fuel. On a fuel ship, no less.
I'll tell them to check in regularly with their progress and I'll go on ahead.
Okay, Mark, you suddenly see all these lights start blinking on all over the place. And the view screen that you crashed into starts to light up with all these facts.
Okay, I'm reading.
You do struggle to read it properly because some idiot crashed into the view screen.
Yeah, that'd be you.
No, it was from crash. Don't put me on this one.
No, that's how you ended up unconscious.
Yeah, it's from the boom crashed the vehicle, so therefore it's his fault.
No, you were driving.
No, he was driving. I got told by the DM. That's all good.
I'm teasing you.
I know, don't worry. I will fight you to the end of the galaxy for this one. So
I believe it was co-driving.
Yeah, you're driving together.
we don't really call it driving together. We still try to beat each other. But we can't say it's a joint kind of thing occasionally. Anyway, I'll go, I'll try to work out what I can. And we go, And I put on comms. Lights coming back on. Things might be coming back on, guys. can't read the screen. It got broken in the crash. Here we go. Over.
And it seems that they put most of their information up on that one screen. Because the auxiliary bridge is basically there for emergencies, not there for the main living. And if you hadn't left someone behind, you would never have figured out that you could have turned everything back on from here.
Do you, I asked all those questions before we left this room.
It hadn't been used, and it was not set up for habitation.
I believe you should have a data pad on you. Can you plug your data pad into something so that you can get some view of what's going on?
I don't know if I would have taken that personally. I don't know.
We all have.
Like I said, I didn't think I had any of my equipment kit. But,
you check your pockets, and you've got this thing saying, in case of emergency, data pad.
Plus,
Okay.
when I went and bought group gear, and nobody took all of their group gear with them one time, I then went and made a point of making sure all the group have their group gear on them.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, boss. Yeah. Okay. I will go to. Okay. I'll try to plug into the side of what's left of the screen and see if I can get any information out of it.
Is QT advising us that stuff's going on?
No.
Not
He's
yet?
still not seeing anything. Okay, so Mark, your data pad is saying currently going through the initialization process. It is currently 0.00005% through. Estimation completion time at least 2 days.
I will go. We'll get initialized. The time delay on this is unfortunately 2 days.
And it seems to be doing a complete reset of all the ship systems.
Yeah. Yeah. I said it's resetting all the systems. I don't know what's going to come on first or second or third, but the complete ship can travel back in 2 days. Any concerns, guys? I'll put over the comments.
Lots of concerns. I'm gonna hurry myself up.
Okay, so about half an hour later, Thea reaches the bridge.
What is going on, Martin? If my suit triggers that I've got fresh air and things like that outside, can I just let people know if things come on, I think, or?
Well, by the looks of things, the life support system is not one of the first things to come online.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I'll just keep an eye on things and just, if they come online, I'll just let people know, of course. So. I'll get a comfortable seat.
Looking at it, it seems that the entire system needs to be purged. Which is what the full shutdown restart does.
I feel my Deathwatch days coming out again. Deathwatch. We used to purge things a lot.
Droid, report.
Nothing seems to be working, sir.
He's come on the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Notice it, and I say, Droid, report.
Which?
Me?
Yes.
Yes, sorry. But I was busy eating my food,
Of course.
and my brain was actually focused on my food.
Yep.
And thinking about how my
And forgot
stomach
that
is
she
not
was a droid.
yelling at me.
Who the hell is Gum talking to? Oh, that's right, I'm a droid.
The chief engineer has been stunned in all of the commotion. I believe we should apply medpack and appropriate first aid, as in a stim patch, to bring the chief engineer around. I believe the chief engineer thinks we are pirates, and we need to inform him that we are in fact not pirates, and that the Empire coming is not good.
And technically, only Gum is technically a rebel.
I go, oh well. I pull out my blast pistol. I say, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd please turn your eyes to myself. I'd just like to inform you that yes, in fact, we are members of the Rebel Alliance.
And there's a lot of...
But we wish you no harm.
I think I even have a shock sound for them.
Oh, go on. Very breathy.
But,
I can try again.
No, it's okay.
Nope, same sound.
yeah, same. But of course, we wish you no harm. Basically, we have taken control of the ship, and hope that you will cooperate with us in good faith, so that no harm needs to come to you or anyone else.
And you don't have to be re-educated by the Empire.
Okay, so I'm going to see how charming you are.
Significantly charming.
Well, there's a lot of dice for charm.
Can I don't know if my charm's any good, but can I take off my helmet revealing I'm in fact not a droid, but a frankly face of the Empire, of the Rebel Alliance?
There's no
Would that help?
life support, is there? That's why everybody's put their suit.
Oh,
everyone's
okay,
got their
so
suits on.
Sorry, I forgot about that part.
Okay, I think everyone is going to be very charmed by you.
Oh, well, that works.
I'm a very friendly individual.
That's my evil face.
Okay, so with all those dice, you end up with 2 successes. Everyone is applauding you with that nice, polite golf clap sort of clap.
A little bit of confusion, but
You just sound so excited, so they're clapping.
okay. But we should make sure that the chief engineer is okay. And I walk down to the chief engineer and I say, if you would provide the chief engineer with medical assistance, it would be greatly appreciated.
Probably already started doing
Cool.
Okay. So the chief engineer slowly, groggily wakes up on the bridge.
Is he wearing a suit?
Now, does
He does have a suit.
Okay.
Well, at least they would have put the rest of his suit on him before taking him through the airless void.
I want to make sure that he...
Otherwise, it's like, we got to make him awake while he's blue and cold to the touch.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Thank you for making an assumption, because normally you would just startle us at this point and go, well, unfortunately, you forgot to put his suit on. So he's now blue and cold to the touch, and we'd all be going, well...
If we'd known that earlier, it's like, well...
He's got that funny cadaver look on his face. Right. As he comes around, what's his name?
Chief Engineer... Not Schloss.
Skirdos.
Skodos. Chief Engineer Skodos. Welcome back.
I haven't been anywhere.
You're unconscious and now you're not.
Well, that would be your fault.
I didn't do anything.
Well,
Please. There's no need to be antagonistic at this stage.
you were knocked out by the movements in the ship, sir.
So what do you pirates want, he says.
Alliance, not pirates.
I'm sure you're pirates. Look, you walk around with heavily armed droids.
No, they're
I'm not a
members,
droid,
they're
sir.
members of the Alliance. And mine.
Since when do Alliance dress like that?
My name is Kai, and I underneath this armor, I'm a loyal servant of the leader of the Alliance Alliance's goals, and definitely not I do not want to be re-educated by the Empire under any terms.
I believe that is going to be a deceive check.
No, I am a loyal believer of the Alliance's goals.
Mm-hmm.
And I do not want to be. I am strictly telling the truth for a reason. I do not want to be re-educated by them. And there is a level of sincerity there.
In which case, I will make it a leadership role instead.
This is like, Empire, no, very afraid.
So yes, you get to make a check to see if you can inspire him. Apparently you're very inspiring.
I'm going to guess that's good.
He just has that look, I thought you were pirates sort of look.
Why?
Because he hates pirates. Pirates have killed a lot of his friends.
Yeah,
And
why would you think we're pirates?
because it's a great pirate booty stealing 1 billion tons of fuel.
Yes, but it's also really, really good for the Alliance as well.
He didn't think the rebels had enough nous to be able to take on such a task.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay.
It's because people like myself believe in the Alliance that they're able to finally do this. We have offered to assist them in trying to gain the fuel absolutely necessary, not for just the Alliance, but for many worlds struggling underneath the Empire.
Okay. Well, he goes, well, in that case, maybe we should try to get out of this base because they should be coming now that the ship got stranded.
Oh, yes. And we...
He pulls out a data stick, just plug this into the auxiliary bridge and push the button and it will get the ship started up in about an hour. Just don't push the button beforehand, he says.
Okay, I don't know that. So
I think
so I go
Brum Brum.
So I look at Brum Brum and offer him the pad and
Maybe
say,
the droid, QT-17, but probably Brum Brum. So we also need to urgently communicate with the planet down there. That is the Rebel Alliance down there, and they need to know they have to go.
He says that once you get it into the auxiliary bridge, you should have full comms working within about that hour time.
Okay, alright.
so I offer the pad to Brum Brum and ask if he'd be happy to take it to the auxiliary bridge to plug it in.
And then push the button.
Make it so.
But don't push the button until after the hour?
No, don't push the button until after you plugged it in.
Yeah.
Oh, so plug it in, push the button.
Yeah.
Because if you push the button beforehand, it wipes all the systems.
Okay, alright.
Well, we've already pressed the button.
No.
What?
Have we?
Have we?
Oh.
Ash, press the button.
He woke up.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I must
So what do we do now that
for that
the
part.
button was pushed before the pad was plugged in?
Says, oh, we'll probably have about 2 days for it to finish wiping the systems of everyone's codes.
Is there any way at all?
If you shut it down again now, the ship won't start back up again.
How long
Any way
until
to speak to them?
how long until the Empire gets here?
They will probably be here any time now, depending on how close.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
I would suggest that we get into a shuttle and go down and warn them verbally, because doesn't really seem we have another choice.
No.
Just that the shuttles do have clearance, and the ship will allow them to dock back again.
Very well. So, well, if you'd like to come with us, and I sort of stand and face the rest of the crew and say, ladies and or gentlemen, if you'd like to come with us, we will escort you to the surface of the planet.
What's going to happen if the Empire turns up with this ship unattended?
Well, they probably wouldn't blow it up out of necessity because it is a major investment.
As much as I'm against splitting the party, should we be...
Well, you could leave Kayana and Khalid behind.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. We should possibly...
Stop anyone who tries to board the ship.
There wouldn't be one or two, there'd be legions.
But hey, they are quite powerful in their own right, so obviously they could take them on. Or at least they could slow them down.
They could slow them down.
Yeah, but again, to what point? You slow them down, but they're going to take the ship regardless. We can't fight like thousands of stormtroopers. So, what's the point?
We don't know what they're bringing. Do we know what they're bringing?
You won't know what they're bringing until they arrive.
Well,
see, we don't know that they're bringing thousands. They might just send someone to check out that signal from that ship. The Empire is renowned for miscommunications and bad communications and fobbing the job off to somebody else. So it's entirely possible someone could turn up and Kayana and Khalid could talk their way out of the boarding and just say, you know,
you got no oxygen here, you can't get on board. They could just
say, look, we just spotted the rebel planet down there and point them at the planet instead of at the ship. The rebels are going to be evacuating anyway. Hopefully they've got a planet shield. If they don't, they're all dead anyway, including us. So,
very well.
Know,
leave who you want on the ship. My thoughts are they're going to die, but
they should have turned up this session.
It's been fun. I wish you all the luck in the universe, and I hope that we'll meet again.
Well, what do they...
And I collect up the people and we...
What do Mike and Mark think?
Mark, stay on the ship, by the way, just between you.
You always want to stay on the ship, you don't...
No, because I've started something. I want to make sure the ship comes back online. So I feel, as a ship captain, I feel that I need to do the right thing.
You're not the ship captain?
Well, I am trained as a ship captain, so...
Oh, okay. Alright. But
so I'll have to bring it on. I got the system was offline. I'm bringing it back online. If they reach out to me, or whoever comms reaches out to us, I'll say, hey, look, something's happened in engineering. We just had to reset all the systems. It's going to take about 2 days.
Khalid and Kayana can do that.
Yeah, I know, but I've got mechanics and computing, so that will help out. Okay.
That's Khalid.
So if they want to stay with me, they can, but because I've got the mechanics and
So, Mark, for the game purposes of the game, you're choosing to exclude yourself from the rest of the session.
Yeah, which means we don't get you as a playing character resource.
Okay.
You'll split from us. That's why I'm saying if we leave the non-playing characters behind, they can do the talk about there's something wrong in engineering.
Okay.
Khalid actually has a fairly good schmooze mode. It's not as good as Garms. It's not as good as some of the other characters, but it's up there. And Kayana's really good with the martial arts and things like that, so there's a little bit...
Well, I've got smooth as well, but it's more that I have if we had to repair stuff for computers and mechanics, I can do it like Brimham does, and if you rest you guys. That's the only reason I suggested it.
I'd say going down to the planet, we'll be better off as a functioning group.
Okay. I'll take leadership from the okay. I was about to say go, and you go, no, I need you down here. Okay, I'll come down. I'm still running my head through my helmet, so...
Well, they would definitely have to dock with the auxiliary bridge because it would be many hours for you to reach them otherwise.
Yeah.
More than your oxygen supply will last.
I was going to say, yeah, there is that oxygen supply problem, so that's the other question. Should we be taking Kayana and Khalid with us?
You can literally take them with you because someone trying to take the ship can't go anywhere for 2 days, even if they try to speed it up.
Okay, alright. Well, I just wanted to figure that out before we jumped into a shuttle.
So are we leaving anyone or are we not leaving anyone?
Martin was saying that there is the last sport thing, which I keep forgetting about, which is probably not a good thing. So yeah, we should take everyone with us. No,
Okay. Alright, so if we're taking everyone with us, I think we should booby trap the ship.
That's a good idea.
Technically, QT
Well-
says it's technically already booby trapped because if they try to mess with the startup routine, it just erases everything.
I want it to go boom.
Oh,
Booby trap. Boom.
If it goes boom where it is, it may actually take out the rebel base below.
yeah. I was gonna say a boom of 8 kilometers worth of 1 billion fuel. I suspect that might take everything out.
May even burn the surface of the world.
They're on the ground, they'll be fine, won't they?
The big bang that took out the dinosaurs is smaller than what this would be.
Let's just say the chief engineer has already substantially set up a lot of booby traps across this ship. All the maintenance droids want to kill anything organic. He's put quite a lot of other things in play because between leaving the bridge where you are and getting to the chief engineer, we had a few things to overcome. So let's call it already booby trapped.
If we didn't want the ship to, I actually asked the chief engineer, if we didn't want the ship to fall into the hands of the bad guys.
Well, in that case, simply put, the hangar, once you get onto the escape shuttles, we simply leave it open because they won't actually have power to get the door shut and unload a majority of their troops. So most of the Empire don't actually travel with spacesuits.
They really do hate OH&S, don't they?
Well, the Stormtrooper armor is not actually atmospheric capable. It needs their space troopers to actually go from ship to thing, and as long as there's a vacuum, they're screwed. As part of why he set up the routine was to stop anyone being able to escape or enter unless they had a vacuum cell.
Right.
And if anything, most of the ships they fly around with have 2.
Sounds like a plan. Because yeah,
But,
making it go boom is probably overkill.
Their ships do actually have a lot more vacuum seals on them, spacesuits, because, well, they're not designed for the Empire.
People who actually care about their staff, kind of. So, as quickly as we can, we will leave the ship and arrive on planet.
Take you about an hour to get to the hangar. And luckily, because you got everyone in suits and you're getting close to the edge of your oxygen supply, you can see that there are quite a few of the Imperial shuttles sitting in the bay, all designed as troop carriers. There's 4 of them.
Okay.
Are there any supplies there, like spare air tanks, things like that, that we can regas my boots with, regas my helmet with?
Once you get onto the shuttles, they do have their own power supply.
Awesome. I will do that once I'm on the shuttle.
Though he does suggest that more than one of you pilots a shuttle, otherwise
Which is why we need Ash and from Crash.
they might actually
Do you guys
take
set
off
that
with
up
one
Sorry.
and be able to tell the Empire more about what's going on here.
So I'm assuming that one of these troop carriers can carry all of the...
They can take about 36 people.
And we don't have 36 people, we've got...
It's about 50 plus your 6.
Depending on how many the
Ah.
white team killed. Because the white team did cause a lot of destruction.
Right. So it looks like we're taking 2 troop carriers.
Well, the white team ended up going up against the skilled crew.
Yeah.
Yes, but there was some deaths on the ship's side because the Wookiee killed a few people, ripped people apart.
Yes, the Wookiee was very antisocial.
Well, the Wookiee was just asking questions, I'm sure.
soda stream bottles is cold water.
No, I bought 2 of the energy drinks. I'm
Oh.
going to the second.
I was gonna say, if you want an energy drink, there's like a lot of energy drinks. And then different flavours.
So it has a 20 capacity for people, plus a crew of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 26 per shuttle.
Mhm.
So that means you probably need 3 shuttles to get everyone down safely.
Yep. I asked if the crew, if any of them are trained pilots.
The engineer had basically suggested not using the crew. Some of them may be more loyal to the Empire. Unless you just want them to go.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave them behind to
we
die
have-
either.
Well, if you bring them down with you,
Yeah.
you could literally bring everyone down in 3 shuttles.
We have Brum Crush who can pilot, Ash who can pilot,
And
Khalid could technically pilot if he's allowed to. do
Khalid
his
can
NPC.
pilot.
And then if
Alright.
we look at co-pilots, if they need co-pilots, the remaining 3 can all co-pilot.
So yeah, if we've got 3 pilots, then we'll do that. I wasn't aware that everyone was.
And plus you also have QT7 who could technically sub as a pilot.
Oh, good on him. Okay. More and more valuable.
Well, he just needs his meat shield to carry him
Oh, no,
around.
his, what did you call me before? His legs? Or his arms or something?
Legs.
His mobility aid.
So yeah, we'll do it that way. I'm trying to keep my eye open for any of the people that we're rescuing from the ship, sort of giving me the stink eye or.
A lot of them are because, hey, this was their chance of promotion.
Can,
Because a lot of them are very green and all self-righteous people.
So they're actual Empire people.
Oh, well,
supposed to be
they're all humans, so that means they get favourable treatment from the Empire, such as a job on a super carrier.
Do you realise, guys, you can get even better jobs, better treatment, better food, and better pay under the Rebel Alliance?
So you want to do another leadership role for them? Inspiring them?
Shot.
Okay.
If they're on our side, life will be easier, right?
It will help. That's you, so you have 2 and 2.
If the army's backing me up, maybe I can have a...
Yeah, I'll back her up and. You too could be a man in this Alliance army.
There are
Well, it's a
any
quartermaster.
females
Getting more troops does also fall under quartermaster.
there?
Okay, so he can add another 2 green dice to the pool.
You want to upgrade one of those?
Do we have upgrade?
We do.
We had
Yeah.
5.
You're not rolling against us at this stage?
I have got dice in there.
Spend a point. Spend a point.
I was gonna
When
say
in
you're
doubt,
not
spend.
spending against us, then I don't
Word,
know.
spend it.
But if now you're thinking about spending against us, then
Spend it.
Well,
Spend
I'd
it.
rather spend a point than have to roll against it.
Accept peer pressure. Spend it.
Spend it.
If
Yeah, that's
you're
me.
roll,
Do it.
Okay, so I think you did exceedingly well.
I was going to say, that's the first time those two have spoken up really fast.
Okay, so it was 5 successes in trying to get them enthusiastic. I'd say that you probably got most of them enthusiastic, or giving lip service at least.
Yeah, look, I just don't want them to be against us.
Well, no one seems to be having that shifty look of "I'm going to betray you" the moment you turn your head.
Yeah.
And as you make sure everyone's disarmed, you can technically lock them in the cargo area, the passenger area, while you play. Does mean that you'll be flying short-staffed, but it's better to do that than try to cram 50 people into a 20-space room.
Yeah.
When you do that, it doesn't pull up very well when you try to land.
And we will make our way to the planet's surface.
Okay, so as you're zooming out with the 3 shuttles, so who's flying with QT?
Well, I'll have to be there.
So it looks like you're the co-pilot for QT.
Sure. I tell him. I tell the droid, look, I am terrible. So, unless there's something horrible happening, don't even. Yeah.
Well, technically, we could have Khaled and Kayana in one.
Mm-hmm.
Broom Broom and say and
QT in another.
and then Ash and say
That would work.
third. And that way we're all spread evenly out, and so we've all got someone with piloting main abilities and someone with co-piloting.
And then just providing leg service.
That's
Yeah.
it. Leg service.
That's it.
Okay, so as you you see the 3 shuttles zoom out. You can see that the black ice really is bigger on the outside. It's sort of like you think you've been in this big space, and the further you get away from it, the more you realize just how small it is. Because if we go back to the picture, so what you're flying in is about the size of the Millennium Falcon above the Arrow.
Yeah. So we are tiny comparatively.
Yep.
And you end up flying out and zooming down. As you see that there is a 4th shuttle coming from the other end of the ship.
Okay.
Okay.
That's not good news. Any idea?
4th shuttle. Well, if it comes up with a IFF code or something like
It
that.
is the Black Ice A1.
Black Ice A1.
You're the Black Ice B1.
Okay, Black Ice A1. This is
Yeah,
Black
that's,
Ice B1.
the
Please identify.
bridge.
Well, it's A for front, B for rear. Okay. So, as you do so, you hear a Wookiee growl on the other end.
Okay, the laughs. Goes, Roomba, good to hear. Good to hear you, mate. Good to hear you. Okay, well, we'll meet you down on planet.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hear?
Sure.
So, because I know Wookiee.
What do you think you said?
I'm
Everything's fucked up?
all the rest of my
Booba.
team are dead. I'm heading back to the rebel base to regroup.
If you want that to be the response, we can have that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll go with that.
It could have been something else.
Miraculously, my whole team survived.
Miraculously, my whole team survived, but we did not secure the bridge. I don't know.
Well, they did say they destroyed the bridge
They
in
did.
taking it, so they did secure it, but they destroyed it in the process.
Okay, well, then probably that. Then I won't change the narrative.
Well, I was going to let you determine the narrative, so that was why I was letting you. If you really wanted that to happen, that would have been how it happened.
What?
The Wookiee on his own was the only survivor.
Look, I wasn't a big fan of the other guys. They were a little bit snobbish and a little bit
Smug.
smug, to
Shitheads,
be
yeah.
fair. So, I don't really mind if they didn't survive.
Oh.
I don't object to them surviving either. I'm fairly neutral on it. I am a Mandalorian. I don't give out hugs out, just to everyone.
I'm fairly meh about this survival.
So there were
Yeah.
2 humans and 2 Mon Calamari, as well as the old Iranian.
Okay, look, let's
Leader.
just say they survived, but they royally screwed up the job.
Yeah.
And to which point I won't say, but I'll think, well, we didn't do too much better ourselves because we've set the system so that it's going to take 2 days for the ship to be able to take off, and we've drawn the Empire to the rebel base. So
Okay, so you find out from the Wookiee that they were hiding in the life support system, because that's the only place that had any form of life support.
yeah,
Everything else had shut down on the ship,
yeah.
and they basically plugged all their weapons into the life support to keep it going.
No, well, at least that was
Good
keeping
plan.
us going.
Which also explained why you couldn't detect them on scanners, because your scanners weren't working. Someone had completely screwed the scanners over, so no one could find him.
It's better that they join us down on the ground.
Okay, so the three shuttles on your side zoom down, slowly followed by the fourth, and an occasional growl over the comms. As the Wookiee is, main reason he's growling is he's cursing like a trooper.
Yeah. Well,
Anytime you don't actually hear the words, you believe it's being beeped out on purpose. So you fly past the a metal moon, which is QT7 says is the comms point for the base below. It has no sensors above the clouds except for this satellite.
Misa says, that's no moon, that's a space station.
It's got no people on it, it's automated, it's geostationary above the rebel base.
okay. As
Not
we
much bigger than your shuttles.
As we come down, I am broadcasting, saying that we need to speak with Alliance leadership straight away, right on touchdown.
Okay.
There's bad things going on.
Major Mers has picks up the comms and says, "We're expecting you down about an hour or so ago. We're currently going through plans of evacuation. Get your butt down here, and
Yep.
we'll include you in those plans."
Awesome.
Okay, so you zoom down to the base. You do see that the world below is particularly inhospitable. Reminds you of the pictures of Hoth.
So what? Ice and shit everywhere.
Yep, but the ice is under it's got no light because the cloud cover completely blocks everything.
Is there any?
And you're basically flying by sensor.
Yeah. Okay.
You can see a landing light start blinking on as you get close to the base. You wouldn't know where the base was without it.
Well, wouldn't you just have to look up?
You can't see the satellite. Can't even detect the satellite.
No. Okay.
And they don't actually have the entryways directly below the satellite.
Alright, we will land.
Okay. Doesn't take you long to get in there, though. You do have to split up as you come in because each landing bay is only good for 2 shuttles.
Okay.
While we're going for our travels, and it's quite a nice general slow flying ride, is the shuttle have life support, I assume, so I can take my helmet off?
The shuttle does have an atmosphere, so you can take your helmet off.
I do ask Sarah to check on my big, huge lump on my head, just to make sure it's okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
You hear over the comms QT going, "Oh my god!"
What does-
Is that from our robot guy?
Yep.
I can make you feel the same way if you'd like me to. I say in the nicest possible voice.
Well, at least QT7's on a different shuttle.
I know, but I'll wait till he gets down. Don't worry. We'll have discussions afterwards.
Yeah, discussions don't actually hurt the droid winning.
Just a polite discussion, that's all.
Yeah, why?
And over the comms you get shocking even.
No shocking, QT.
Yeah, I see what a screwdriver can do.
Always
No.
playing
Oh,
nice.
sorry, I've got to concentrate now. Okay.
Do I need to apply med pack first first aid to
Um,
his head?
It's more just to see, make sure it's not too bad. That's all. So
There's a big black eye from where he hit his face with his helmet.
You look
things I
pretty
do for the
Reconstructed.
things I do for the team. And I do say the Thea because it's only Thea I'm talking to at the moment.
And one of his
So-
eyes is sort of looking a little bit off center.
do I detect a concussion?
Yeah, definitely. And don't worry, he's now playing. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
I will apply what first aid I know to apply for concussion. Mostly it's keep him awake, isn't it?
I just say to him, say, I understand Broom Broom's a very good pilot, but he's a racer. Racers crash. Proper ship captains don't crash. I'm just all going to say to the subject, and we'll leave it. I will not talk about this again. I say to Thea.
I'll make sure I pat Ash on the shoulder where it looks like he's least hurt himself and say, yes, you're a very good starship captain.
Well, considering he's wearing armor, anywhere on the shoulder is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And I just had to get off my chest. I said, I just got off my chest now. We won't discuss it anymore. It was never said, okay? Understood?
You're a great captain.
And then you realise the comms are still on.
No, I made sure the comms are turned off before that happened. So, okay? I'm trying to get off my chest, get it out of the system, and I'm good, okay? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so it doesn't take any effort to come in for landing because you're not trying to rush or race each other there. Assuming Brum Brum Crash isn't racing.
No.
And you're met by a bunch of soldiers and other medics to see if anyone needs assistance as they take care of the crew of the Black Eyes while they take you to the shuttles.
I'll get them to have a quick look at Ash because he's got a concussion.
So there's one of those look him in the eyes with the flashlight thing, and then pinch his ear until he makes a noise, and then poke his nose, and afterwards she says, "Yep, he's alive."
He's good.
Might be needed because Ash has delusions of grandeur.
She pulls out a wrench, hands it to him, and go, "Here's your lightsaber. Have fun."
This is the first time I see the gunman since it's all happened, by the way. I just give the gunman the most evil kind of look of all time that you've ever... It's almost like a full Death Watch look, okay?
Okay, let's make that an intimidation check to see how intimidating it is.
Okay, we'll do that. That sounds good. Okay, what's mine? I've got a high one, I think, for him.
Okay.
Where's intimidation?
So for you, intimidation is coercion, 2 yellow dice, and that
And
will
what-
be composed
And
against.
I can type a strain to make it even more better, can I? Is that how it's working?
I'll look at that in a second. I was just seeing what you're up against. Apparently, the Gungan isn't very good at dealing with intimidation.
What skill's that?
That is your discipline.
You're coordinated, not disciplined.
Now, did Ash actually have a special for his?
I have the intimidation ×2. That means I can make the check easier and easier for me. But I have to suffer strain when I do that.
Okay, so you can suffer 2 strain if you wish to.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, so that means.
I'd like to see where your priorities are.
I'm
That
going to be
means,
rested up now because of my health issues, so I think it's all fine. So,
That's technically the dice pool. So yes, you're extremely intimidating to Brum Brum Crash with that because you took away his actually resistance dice.
yeah. I also do. I don't say anything. I don't word anything. I just give a look of like, you did this to me, and that's all I want. So I'm stripping out my system as a. I just feel very kind of dirty about the whole situation.
Okay,
you know,
so you deal 2 strain to Brum Brum Crash.
There you go. I feel happy now.
Because that's what you can do with your successes. Every 2
That's
levels
right.
a strain.
Oh, wow.
And I will look over. I'll get the medical people looking me over. They say, "Oh, you'll be fine." I'm going, "Okay."
Yeah, shake it off, they say.
Yeah. I do a little shake it up.
Spoonful of concrete.
Yeah. I
And
ignore anything that Boom says for at least 10 minutes. Okay.
you get on a repulsor craft to take you into where the command is. It's about half a K from the landing field.
Okay.
And it's through tunnels, so basically if someone does land on the planet, it's not going to be easy for them to break into the base. You can see that there's a whole lot of packing being done as you're traveling.
Do we know if they've got any shields, like planetary shields, even sectional ones?
You don't know because you never actually got to see the base beforehand.
Yeah.
You've been brought in the cargo area of a vehicle and dumped in
Fair enough.
because they didn't even tell you what planet it was.
That's fine. I was just curious because that's pretty much the only thing that's going to keep us alive if we don't get out of here before the Empire get here.
Okay, so you come into a room where all these people are arguing and shouting. Seems that it is the sector command. And you do see floating above the table in the center of the room the planet that shows the black ice, the orbiting moon, the rebel base, and noting it down as the planet Fangol.
Fangol.
How do you spell that?
Fangol. As everyone's trying to tell the head of the base what to do. Basically, after you get in, the sector commander stands up and says, "We have heard the opinions and suggestions, but the decision must be mine. We prepare to abandon the system. Major Mers, order the evacuation." So, as you're coming in, you find out that they have been deciding whether to take on the Empire,
Crazy people.
and then discover that they only have a small number of fighters they can spare if they're going to try to get people to safety.
Yep.
And none of their transports have shielding or weaponry enough to take on a large ship. Even a flight of TIE fighters could take out a bunch of their transport vessels. So they say they're going to need 7 days to evacuate the base.
7 days.
Jesus.
They don't have a huge amount of
How many people
things.
could fit on the ship if it's up and running too?
It can take 200 people.
How many people on the rebel base?
I was just about to look that one up for you.
Thousands.
Just have rookies.
– 3,000 people on the base.
Can we call in anyone who can get here within that time to help?
Well, they have put out a call, but they also have to be careful because if the Empire sees them in system, they'll be automatically flagged as rebel.
Have they used the True Striker system?
The True Striker system is more than a day away. They would have to traverse the width of the galaxy to get here.
But they could still get here within a day?
That's assuming that they can. They'll be getting here at the height of when they expect Empire activity, and any cover they may have would be blown. Plus, from what he heard, they didn't quite have the fuel to get here,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
which sort of makes it sort of moot in that point.
that's why we need it. And at a stretch, black ice isn't going to take more than. Can we attach any of our vessels to the black ice?
They can attach some of their vessels to it, though they are looking at trying to siphon what fuel they can on as spare cargo.
So very much of a haul. Better than nothing,
But they're not sure what they can do about that. They have set aside 8 fighters for a defensive screen. Everything else has been dedicated to evacuation. Mainly because they're too banged up to go into fight.
Player speak, Thea. She has one favour she can ask for. Is this probably a good time or probably not a good time?
It wouldn't reach here.
What about... Oh no, they're too far away.
They have put a call out to the rebel cells around them, but because they don't have a lot of cooperation, this was supposed to be one of their big gestures. They haven't actually gotten any replies yet.
There's an awful lot of fuel there that could help an awful lot of big guys.
The fuel could save the resistance, they say, because they don't have a coordinated group yet. They're looking at dedicating what resources they can to get the ship up and running, because if they can get the ship going with say the remainder of their crew.
Well, that's why I was considering calling in my one favour.
They do have a couple of ships that may be able to get people out. Unless that was me dropping dice. Apparently it was all the bad dice.
Yeah, you're not supposed to roll those black dice now. Watch out for your head, Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, they definitely don't have the ships to get all 3,000 off.
Though they can get out about 300 people over maybe 2 or 3 lots of 300 a day, depending on how their ships hold up.
Well, that's what I was wondering, if we could attach ships to the Black Ice, because the Black Ice can hyperspace out of there in 2 days.
Yes, but you'd have to have the crew complement to keep the people who are there. You've got enough to put 200 on board.
Yeah. Okay, 150 if you put on the 50 crew minimum needed to run the thing. If you could go squish and all ships can't squish, you could probably maybe shovel another 150 people on there. If, they're all in the corridors, that kind of thing.
They say no, the environmental systems won't handle it.
Okay, so life support.
Life support is the big factor on these things.
Yeah. Keep forgetting about life support, and really, you can't do anything about it without it.
And if you were to say pack it and the ship was moving slowly, it would be the target the Empire would go for.
So say you put the 100, the 200 it can have on it safely, would it still be able to hyperspace out of there?
It should be able to hyperspace out with the 200, assuming that the hyperdrive is in working condition.
And if you were to attach ships to it, that would slow it down?
You can technically attach ships to it, but they would have to have the capacity for the people on the ships.
Okay, yeah.
Because the ships have to run to provide the life support for the people on the ships. It's not just sticking someone in a box and routing it to the side.
The fuel nodes, can they be broken up? Because you've got the 9.
Possibly, but
can they?
what will we do with them? How can we move them? We don't have anything big enough to pull.
we already discussed this 2 sessions ago about breaking it up, and it was discussed breaking it up. It's not a
Technically, it uses the engines at the front and the engines at the back to navigate.
and you can't take some out of the middle without like massive time and effort spent and like.
You could probably spend a couple of hours to decouple a single one, and then recouple the gap, but something has to be able to deal with that single one.
Well, I guess I presume, Peter, you're talking about leaving some of them behind and not taking all 9.
I'm thinking that if we, rather than blow up the whole ship, if we were to use parts of the fuel as mines for when the Empire enters the system, it might make them think twice
I
before
think
actually
even
coming into
blowing
the
up
system.
one of those fuel cells though might just blow up everything in the vicinity. So we would have to be really good with our maths about the distances between.
Well, the
say,
fuel is quite volatile, so yes,
Yeah.
it would create a big bang.
and
So,
it might bang all of us.
so if we were to decant some off, how difficult and time consuming would it be to make mines out of it?
Yeah, we don't have the material for the mines. We could try to fabricate some, but that would mean we'd have to dedicate a bunch of people to do that.
That could be
And
difficult.
we don't
Alright.
really have time if the Empire are on their way already.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have time to waste to pull the thing apart, as well as manufacture munitions to make it go boom.
In terms of my stats,
Mm-hmm.
is my intelligence okay?
Okay. Let me see. That's not you.
Sorry,
Your intellect is way above average, so it's
Okay.
4.
Can I brainstorm anything that might be helpful towards this? I'm happy to brainstorm with our group. I don't know if it's a role.
I'll pull the chief engineer into anything we discuss.
Well, the chief engineer does say that wherever the super transport jumps, it will ping the Imperial network to say where it is.
Can we disable that ping?
Not easily. He says, not without disabling the hyperdrive. It's a safety feature.
Can we jump away from here, disable the ping, and then slow move?
Is if you disable the ping, there's no way you can get away from the Empire.
Well, my thought was we could hyper jump it to somewhere where there are people who can siphon it off fairly fast close by. Hyper jump to that point, disable the ping, move off to meet with someone who can maybe has the capacity to help us get rid of the fuel.
Whatever happens, they're going to be coming here anyway. You might be able to divide their forces, but
Do you know what kind of forces it's in?
he does not. He's never been in this situation.
Does any of the Rebel Alliance conglomerate people know?
They don't. They're not expecting a huge advance party. They would expect scout ships coming in first before anything else happens. But they have set aside 8 starfighters to try to give them some breathing space.
So, theoretically, if we were to put at least 2 pilots who like to try to shoot down ships into 2 of those fighters, and then hopefully some other fighters who might have some chance,
They do have some pilots there, so
then there's a chance we could get rid of the advanced party to start with and buy time. But they will just send more forces when they disappear.
if they don't report in, they'll send more forces. If they do report in, they'll come stronger.
So I sense what we need to do is convince them to turn around and go back and that nothing is going on here that's wrong.
Well, if they find an abandoned ship floating in orbit, they may leave it and then come with a recovery team.
What if they find the original merchant people who are legitimately in control of the transport of this stuff, who say, well, we were in dire straits, but we've reset the system and we're fine now, and manage to convince them that we're okay.
That would
They
be
go
a great
away?
bluff.
Pardon?
He says that would be a great bluff, assuming you get the chance to bluff them.
Well, they're not going to fire on the thing straight off, are they?
Not. He does not know what the Empire will do. He's preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. Which is why he's got a corvette and a supply ship heading out with a wing of X-Wings and basically trying to keep that going as long as possible. He can get a bunch of people gone each rotation.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should stop with the evacuation. I was just trying to see if there's any option at all where we can redeem keeping the black ice, or at least.
So he does think he can get at least 500 people a day gone, so he might be able to get the place cleared by, say, the 7th day would be the command staff going.
Yeah.
They always wait until everyone else is gone.
So, in terms of...
And he does expect the ships to have to stop by the freighter to refuel before going.
The black ice?
Yeah. Because they used up all their reserves getting the black ice in the first place. And they lost 3 of their main ships.
There's... I'm just trying to think of if there's any other options that we've got out there in terms of strategy. Does anyone have any suggestions? I think the bluff could be worth trying. Because it has worked for us before, insanely enough. But then possibly having fighters on hand for if the bluff doesn't work. Maybe like a plan A, plan B, plan C.
Well, if the fighters get close enough to the planet, they'll be able to pick up the satellite.
Rather bluff.
So do you think plan A is go back to the ship with sufficient crew to do a bluff? Crew that's on our side, not crew we can't trust, and the chief engineer.
She, Major Mers, does suggest putting the starfighters up on the black ice for the screen, so that way if they get too close you can just launch.
And then and plan B would be, if the bluff is not looking like it's working, have at least Room Crash, Ash, and whoever else is good at pewing on starfighters already, ready to take him out if it's not going to go our way. And then if anyone can think of any other or better ideas, I'm open to them.
Yeah, I think what you've suggested is fine.
What about Garm? You're usually very
How do you
good at these things.
How do you expect to resolve the situation? Acquire new ships.
Honestly,
If you're looking for energy drinks, you've got a C4 up the back.
I think.
Don't throw it at anyone though.
Well, it will go boom.
Well, we don't want anything to go boom right now. It took me literally months to realise that thing's called C4.
oh really?
Yeah.
How come?
No, I'm like, oh, it's called C4, but to the ramifications of it being called C4, like the link to C4.
That one's supposed to be mine or yours?
That one's should be. You've got the full one.
Okay, so that one should be yours.
Yeah, that one will be mine because I don't think you like the strawberry yogurt things.
They're those cheese things, are they?
Yeah, if you like them, there's some in the fridge,
No.
and I'm happy to share.
They're okay. I just
Um,
Oh, I'm happy
Why
to
don't-
eat them all.
I'm happy to go along with the group's plans, but I think the best we're going to manage is to sucker the forward scouts into an ambush.
Yeah,
That's the best we can.
I agree.
We can hope for.
I don't think the bluff is going to work, but I figure we've got a couple of minutes to try the bluff, and who knows?
No, the second.
Good roll of triumph.
The second they want to, well, they're going to want to land on the ship.
Yeah,
The second they land on the ship, our bluff goes poof.
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Major Mers suggests that you'll probably have about 3 to 4 hours notice of them coming,
We've got
because they won't come in the system close to the planet.
we've got the chief engineer. We could get all the uniforms off all the guys, make sure they're rebel aligned people in the uniforms. It's a rebel base. They'll have people who are familiar with the systems on that ship. As long as they look the part, as long as the chief engineer, his ID will scan. He's the guy in charge. Imperials don't give a shit about anyone below command level. They just want numbers at that stage.
So who's the commander?
We've got chief engineer,
Yes.
and then we've got us. You wearing the appropriate uniform.
You could say the actual commander died in
Yep,
the
accident.
taking of the capital ship.
Yeah, well, we could say they attempted to take us, but we drove them off.
And as the records have all been erased.
Yep. Like, the bluff's not completely out of the park. Because as long as we've got that chief engineer on our side, he's the one who's going to sell it.
Is the chief engineer happy to do that?
He is, though he does say he's not Imperial Navy.
No, but he is the main guy down from the command area who has authority over this ship, the maintenance of it, the running of it, getting it from A to B.
He does
I
tell
remember
you
right.
that he expects there to be a flight of fighters coming to check it out before anyone else comes, from what he's seen.
But if the flight of fighters find nothing to raise their alarm, and if he's been in this situation before, he could give us an idea of what we can do to make ourselves look unattention getting.
It being dead in space will be expected. If there's a lot of activity, it may throw the Imperials off, and they'll most likely expect no one alive.
Not if we fought off the attackers and
Then they would have expected it to be up and running and have calmed in saying what had happened.
well, we can't do that for 2 days. So if they turn up before that happens, we tell them, look, we're still waiting for all the systems to reset.
Yeah, so they may be suspicious that something went wrong.
Well,
Because
something did go wrong.
protocol hasn't been followed.
People tried to take us over. So you're saying it's low likelihood then?
He doesn't like your chances. He's just trying to be.
No, that's okay. I'm happy for it to be realistic. Because if it's not going to work and if really not going to be able to be pulled off, then
If the ship had powered up and sent out a all clear signal, then they would probably come in numbers to make sure that they could recover the ship
so
safely.
pressing the button was kind of
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was reset. It's going to take 2 days. We've got no way of saving that fuel.
And plus, all the codes are gone. So the captain's codes that gave him clearance.
Yeah, one job.
You've taken the ship successfully, he says.
I'm not gonna keep it.
So the captain's stick is useless.
The captain's stick is now useless, yes. His stick is also useless now. But he can, once the ship powers back up again, make some new ones.
Yeah, the problem is
They just won't have Imperial
we
authorization.
probably won't have time.
Yeah, too much time will pass.
Yeah, we won't have time. So it's not even worth trying to bluff.
A bluff might get you a couple of days. Even 1 day bluff.
Yeah, every day we can stall them off is 500 more people off the planet out of the, what did you say, 3,000?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess if we're going to try and pull off the bluff to gain some time, we need to organise putting everything in place to make the bluff look as good as possible to do that, including making sure that the starfighters are in the hangar, did you say?
Mm-hmm.
Making sure we got the fighter pilots to do that, I guess. And then doing whatever we can to facilitate siphoning of fuel and that. And maybe trying a Hail Mary out to whatever people we can who might be able to kind of help us get people off.
I think at least the first part of the bluff is worthwhile, because at worst it might give us the ability to ambush whoever they send.
Yeah, try the bluff.
Alright, I guess we'll start putting everything in place.
Okay, so how many fighters have we got?
You have 8 available to you.
Okay.
Is that the X-Wings? Or different?
4 X-Wings, 2 A-Wings and 2 Y-Wings.
Okay.
They can't replace them if they get shot down.
Okay. If it was me and I was approaching the system and I had an amount of forces, I would probably leave the majority of them out at the edge of the system whilst sending in a token force to have a look and see what's going on. So the most that the commanding officer would be expecting to lose is this token force, which would then hopefully provide him an indication of what he's facing, and he can then provide that back to his base so that they can then send forces appropriate to whatever resistance they believe they're facing. Do we have any way of taking part of our X-Wings and whatever and hiding them out system? So effectively, guys, hyperspace in, send in part of their forces to check out what's going on. While they're doing that, our X-Wings come in, blow the living shit out of them, whilst the other part that we've left in system wipe out the ships that have come in system.
They could, but that's assuming that whatever drops them off stays around and is vulnerable.
Well, why would it not be vulnerable?
They do not have any torpedoes.
Aren't the
As in, they used up all their supply of torpedoes, taking their black ice. So I said that they're low on resources. They do not have the capacity to go up against a capital ship. They would love to do that. They could bring their big Corvette in, so they have one of these and one of these to transport people. That can take 400. That can take 100.
Mm-hmm.
So if both of them are badly damaged from they were actually in the battle.
Okay, so effectively, the Empire is going to send a capital ship because TIE fighters don't have hyperdrive.
Yes, but it's not outside of their standard operation to jump in, drop, jump out.
So jump in, drop off TIE fighters, and then jump out before they can be targeted. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's what he would do if he was following Imperial doctrine, he says. He has read some of the Navy books, even though he wasn't actually in the academy. It's required reading for engineers, apparently, he says.
Okay.
I don't suppose we can.
I guess.
You don't suppose we can? He says if you got a suggestion, he's more than happy to try it.
Pose as Imperials, say that we're here, but I don't think we've got the information, the resources, the codes, anything like that.
If you, he does have some code still on his code cylinder, but that would have to be sent from something other than the black ice. And if it does, then it will send up a red flag. As well as, if worst case it's a red flag, best case they come in force to collect the ship.
Thus the I don't suppose ... probably not.
But it would confuse them for a short time.
Well, in terms of buying time,
It may give you half a day, but they may bring their full forces straight away.
yeah, so
Whereas
it might
if
be
they-
too big a risk.
If they believe it's a rebel base and they don't know how your forces are, they may come in small numbers to just scout.
What about
Because you did show up with 4 capital ships, quite a lot of support ships, and about 40 fighters to take the Black Ice.
what about
You did
false
lose.
distress signal?
What was that?
No, that wouldn't work well. I was thinking about creating a greater, the pretense of a greater distress closer by, one that close,
Send them somewhere else.
send them somewhere else because there's
And
a greater
decoy.
something that would take greater priority. They know we can't get out of here quickly. Some way of diverting them elsewhere.
Well, at the moment, it's just a fuel ship that they may believe pirates have taken.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if we can create a different bluff, which is a greater distress from a different location, that they would prioritise over a pirated fuel ship, that could buy us enough time to even possibly get the fuel ship out of there.
He says possibly.
If we can come
You've
up
got to
with the
buy.
right decoy.
You've got to buy 2 days to do that.
Yeah, we've got to find the right decoy, and that's the question. Do I have any intuition, intelligence that would give me an idea of the kind of considering my work with the rebels so far, I've done a lot of stuff with them.
They were doing more scouting than anything else. So
But I've been in a lot of rooms with a lot of rebels talking. Would I have any kind of idea? We've dealt with the Imperials as rangers, sector rangers.
So basically, someone trying to break into an Imperial world, threatening, say, a space station or a sector capital.
I happen to know about this project where they're talking about these huge exhaust pipes, exhaust ports or something like that. Do I happen to have any information about where that might be?
No.
Damn. Because I was on a research station recently, might have picked up something before I blew the shit out of the place. That's the other thing. We never kind of went back to that, but is there anything I might have taken off that research base that might help me out here?
Nothing that you can think of, so we just have a Ross joining us. And he just dropped off. He's in the wrong group. Now he's back again. Hey Ross.
Here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, cool. I just got back from Sydney. I hate driving there.
I heard you had a rough day. Darien.
And Therion is agreeing with you in the background.
Well, the other issue is my GPS is like 10 years out of date, and all the streets have changed as well. And I can't update it. I have to buy a new complete system for the bloody car. And then I decided to use my phone, and then the phone decided not to talk to me.
Yeah, you can't really use the phones in the city centres because all the built-up areas because it can get problem getting satellites.
Oh no, it's not the satellite. It actually just refused. It started up and then it refused to give me any verbal instructions.
Yay.
And the other thing that confused the crap out of me is they painted bicycle stencils all over the road, and in Canberra that means it's a cycle path, not a car driveway.
Maybe just assume that everywhere there's a cycle stenciled, someone ran over a bike.
Mm.
You know what they do for the white outlines for people?
Yeah.
A bike lost its life here.
Yeah, which seems to be all around the hospital.
Just going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to pray he doesn't decide that's a litter. I'll be back in like a minute.
Okay, so they were trying to decide how they're going to delay the Empire from getting the ship.
This ship, blow it up?
That would delay the Empire getting it and probably take out half the system.
Yeah.
They're also trying to get out the 3,000 rebels on planet.
How many capital ships have we got?
1.5.
Not including the one that we're on.
Not including the one that you're on. The one that you're on is going to take 2 days for the engines to power up.
Okay. And how long is the Empire going to take to get in?
They don't know. They were trying to come up with plans because the Empire were notified as soon as you came in system.
Okay.
And if you do jump, the Empire will be notified when you go into a new system.
Okay. This is an interesting one. Can this ship be separated into 2 ships?
No, because then you can't control where it's going.
Okay.
Because you need something at the front to steer. Otherwise, you can't actually direct where it's going. And one at the rear to push. Otherwise, it has no propulsion.
True.
That's why the engines are the same in the front and the back, because it needs to be able to stop somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's a huge amount of weight being moved.
Why do I always...
Okay.
Why do you always...
Sorry, Ross.
Well, okay, well, the engines are getting started up, so it's going to take 2 days anyway. So the rebels have got 2 days to get off planet.
No, it's going to take him 7 days to get off planet.
No, they've got 2 days to get off planet.
Okay, so which of the 2,000 people are you going to select to die? Right,
should be able to get-
2,050.
Okay, how many surface to space ships do we have?
Let me just quickly summarize it for you. They've got sufficient ships to get 500 people off a day. They need about 7 days. They could possibly do it in a bit shorter. Sorry, I'll leave that.
So it sounds like they've got 2
Do
ships.
you want me to leave that just there?
They have 2 ships. One can take 400, one can take 100. The one that can take 400 is the only one with weaponry on it.
There's no help nearby that we know of just yet. We're hoping something comes through, but no one's answered any distress.
What is the crew capacity of this ship?
200.
Of the Black Pearl?
200. And
So-
50 of those have to be for crew. They can't do more than 200 because of the life support. They don't have sufficient any other ships to take out entire fuel cells. We've considered taking off one of the big fuel cells and using it as a mine or an ambush for the other ships, but that would take out the system. We've considered trying to make mini mines out of them, but we don't have the resources or the material to put towards it.
All the
Basically,
time. The time is the most important part. You don't have...
So we've decided to go with kind of like the first plan is a bluff and an ambush. So put sufficient crew onto the ship that we initially bluffed them into thinking that, well, at least into them, having to investigate just a bit more, and buying ourselves another day, maybe 2 days, which gives time for more people to get evacuated off the ship, and then ambush them with starfighters that we'll have in the hangar of the Black Ice. So we've just spent the last 2 hours.
Black Ice has got a hangar?
Yes. So we just spent the last 2 hours figuring this out. We've got 8 starfighters, 4 X-wings, 2 Y-wings, and
2 A-wings.
Sorry, 2 A-wings and 2 B-wings.
No, 2 Y-wings.
2 Y-wings.
Why the Y-wings are the most important ones? Because they've got the ion cannon.
Yes, but you don't have any torpedoes because they used them all up on the run that got you the Black Ice.
Yeah.
Does the X-wings have torpedoes?
Nothing has torpedoes.
Nothing has torpedoes because they used
Okay.
up most of the resources getting the Black Ice.
Have we got a mark?
The last...
You do have a Mark, but he doesn't have his ship here.
Yes.
No. Mark would be familiar on how strong the Star Destroyer's shields would be, so how much energy would require to knock down the Star Shield, the shields.
We don't know that they're sending a Star Destroyer. We're thinking that they'll send a small, advanced, investigative fleet
Yeah.
of fighters.
I'm just going for the worst case.
Yeah, no, well...
If a Star Destroyer shows up today,
we're dead.
you have no way to escape
As
it.
far as I know, there's no planetary
You're basically selecting who's going to die.
So there was one other thing that I was just suggested before you came on, which was whether or not we could divert them by oh god, so many things to discuss.
Making an alert nearby.
Yeah, making a greater priority for them nearby, so that they decide to help the distressed people nearby before they come to take care of our situation, which could buy us the 2 days we need to get the ship out of there and get at least 1,000 people off planet, and then while they're getting the other people off planet, they could be chasing us in our ship.
Yep. So is this planet known to be habited?
No.
It's known as a rebel base now.
No, but-
thanks to us.
It is listed as uninhabited on the star charts.
Yeah.
Due to
Okay.
volcanic activity that makes it impossible for you to communicate with the surface from space. They have a satellite that gives them that access. But if that satellite goes, they're completely blind to what's above the surface.
So this is just a theory that I've got in my head that I just need to kind of get out. I don't know if it's any good. It'll take a day to contact the True Striker Network. But say we took a day to contact the True Striker Network and they could launch an attack somewhere else without exposing themselves, say, theory. Right up in the air, Would that one day be enough to divert them from where we're coming to give us an extra 2 days? Will they divert it to take care of that priority first?
Possibly not, because wherever they hit, the actual sector fleet would deal with that. The fleet that protected the Black Ice was not part of the sector fleet.
Okay, so we would want to try and, if we were going to do Because you said that was a plausible.
It is a plausible thing. It's just that it would be suicide to whoever does it. They have to be going in expecting not to survive.
Okay.
Or not cause enough of a problem.
I don't know what examples of those scenarios would be.
Okay, so they would basically have to attack a major military installation with enough forces to cause them to recall forces in to help. An entire rebel sector fleet does not have that amount of ships.
This is precisely why I was thinking of calling in my favour. Well, technically, is it the team's favour?
No, it's your favour.
It's my favour.
But if you call it in, he may take a month to get here or more.
Okay, so even...
And the favour will be used.
I know.
You're not in the Elrood Sector.
No, I know. But I don't know where he is and how long it'll take him to get there. But I also don't know if this is worth it. 3,000 lives is a lot of lives.
What a pity we didn't have all those droids from the our other cape.
If only this is a research base and an enclosed
No.
area
If you had, I'm just saying, pity we didn't have those probe droids because we could have sent them out other areas to basically put out alerts.
I suppose there's any research bases nearby that we can attack.
Not that they know of.
Damn.
They've already attacked the only research base in the sector they know of.
Yeah.
And you've destroyed that, so no one's going to be looking there.
Yeah, I know. Are they looking for the person who destroyed the research base?
He does not know. You're basically asking a non-Imperial a lot of Imperial intense questions, and he's giving you answers from someone who's worked with the Imperials, but doesn't have their knowledge.
I don't expect it. I expect there to be I don't knows.
They didn't get a message off, did they?
The ship will broadcast whenever it comes.
No, not the ship. I'm talking about the base that when it blew up.
He does not know.
No, he won't know that.
And none of you know that.
So, player to you though, Mark,
And not if they got a message out.
would I know
From the research base?
Yeah. We got stopped
as
by the those Imperial guys.
But did the Imperials get a message out?
Well, the Imperials survived. The Imperials told us about the lightsaber wielding nut job.
Yeah, but that wasn't broadcast. That was broadcast down in the area, not space saying SOS. We're under attack.
I get where Pete's coming from. When we were in town, all of that was going on. So that the people who made it into town, and there were a number of Imperials with us who did make it alive from the research base into town. Did they report it? If they did report it, is there any chance, by luck of anything, that Thea picked up before she left to join up with the others, that she knows that they might be still after that person, whether or not that person's a high priority?
Well, you'd expect a completely different group of individuals would be hunting that person.
Okay, alright, so it wouldn't...
So if anything was to draw their attention this way, they would be worse than the fleet.
Well, you see, what I was thinking is you could change our bluff to say, a dude with a red lightsaber turned up, but they've left. They went that way. And then they might go and chase the dude with the red lightsaber who went that way and leave and come back to us after they chase the dude with the red lightsaber.
You probably have learnt by now from what you've read that they would want to follow the path the person took, because they can learn things from what they did.
Okay.
Including see them when they were there.
What do you mean?
People with some of the Force abilities can see what happened by touching what they touched. Like an echo.
Psychometry and...
Okay.
So basically saying one came through the ship and left would be saying, Inquisitors, come here. There's something of interest for you.
Well, I was hoping to just make them go that way. But that's why I was putting it out there, because it was an idea I didn't know if it was a good idea. Now I know that it's a very bad idea and it won't work. And that's how you find out whether the ideas are bad.
Or we could get a black asthmatic showing up with...
The Empire has seen Looney Tunes.
Maybe.
They turned right at Albuquerque.
Yeah. Look, I'm out of ideas beyond the original plan. I wish I could think of something more, but I am not a very strategic mind.
I think the best we can
If
do...
you'd like, I can resign as clan talent and someone else can take over.
I think the best we can do is to sucker them as onto the black ice or close to the black ice, and then we just kill them. And while there might be a period of non-communication with the rest of the Imperial forward fleet, that might buy us a bit of time, or hopefully more than a bit of time. But realistically, once the Imperials turn up, we are kind of fucked.
Well, the other side of it is if we sucker them onto the ship, we could take their place. We've tied up Imperials before, and
Well,
convince them
if
that-
this is a rebel base, you should probably have some combat specialists here, or is this a?
Aren't they called Mandalorians?
No, I'm talking about extra.
Oh, yes.
Or is this a backwater, just a supply depot type one?
No, this
No,
is
no.
a major
Doesn't have any marines.
It's a major rebel base, but they don't have any Marines because they're not a structured force. They have people who can shoot, people who can fly, people who can repair, people who can heal.
Okay.
But they did lose more than 2/3 of their force taking that big
Which
ship
is
out there.
why
Yeah, I was under the impression like Sal Gara, so he must be just an oddity then.
Sol Carrera is a insensitive, and he just starts going off in swear word after swear word because he believes that he is more of a problem for their cause than a help.
Yeah, well he is, but I'm just saying that you don't have professionals. You've got
No, the Rebel Alliance just put everything they could into getting this, and they're gonna lose it because we pressed the button. And I was just trying to get some way we might be able to save it, but it looks like we're just gonna have to try.
how explosive is this fuel?
It is it is hyperdrive fuel.
We have been through this.
Yeah.
It is extremely explosive.
If you detonate it, you will lose the
No,
planet.
I wasn't going to detonate the whole thing. I was just saying.
If you detonate part
we
of
don't-
it close to
we
it, you
don't
will lose
have-
the whole thing.
We don't have time to separate one of the segments.
No, I wasn't talking about separating the segments.
But
I just was wondering how explosive it was. So if you actually put it in one of the portable gas canisters that are around here, how much of an explosive would that cause?
They
Explosion
said that they
cause.
don't have the materials or the resources to create any kind of smaller explosive with it.
It's either that or dedicate it to packing up and getting their stuff going.
They either evacuate and save lives, or they enter into a suicidal fight and lose what's left of the Rebel Alliance.
No, this isn't the whole Rebel Alliance. This is just
Well,
this
that's,
sector.
yeah, sorry.
How much of this starship fuel would be required to either destroy or significantly damage a capital ship?
Well, they probably say just a single container would take out most capital ships.
Because each one has a billion units.
That would be over 100 million units of fuel in each of the round
Yeah.
containers.
If you could get an amount of the fuel into a capital ship, how much would be required to cripple or destroy it?
Not much, as long as you get it near one of their own fuel lanes.
Okay, so if you were to land or be able to put an amount of this fuel into one of their landing bays,
Landing bay less so. They generally have everything closed off. You pretty much want to get more into the auxiliary sort of space. The landing
They
bay
got any?
are designed
they
for
got-
things to go wrong. What was that, Ross?
Have they got any more of those boarding death traps?
They used them all.
Okay.
They only had two.
Hey, boss.
Mm.
If we were to manage to sucker these people to land on the black ice, we take them captive, we get what information we can from them, we decant, excuse me, an amount of fuel into their TIE fighters. Into the TIE fighters. I don't really know how we would do that, but that's why we've got an engineer. And then as part of the reporting process with the
Returning back to their ship with
Yeah.
TIE fighters full of fuel.
and when they land or when they fly to a place that we might want them to, and then they go boom.
Do we know enough about Imperials to know if they take over? So when the TIE fighters are returning, do they take over the controls of the TIE fighters and bring them into land instead of the pilots landing them?
They don't know. You've got no Imperial,
So
ex-Imperials
it might be
on.
that we have to actually land those TIE fighters ourselves.
Well, land, crash, it's really the same word, just different outcome.
They do know that the TIE fighters have no ejection system.
I don't want an ejection system. I want to be able to automate the flight from where we are to where they're going, and then once it gets there,
Well, that's my question. Can we automate them? Because if we can't, we're going to need actual people to fly them in. And don't get me wrong, there will be pilots there willing to do that.
but I prefer that they
We
not.
prefer
if we
not
can,
to.
If we can avoid it.
Very much prefer not to. Don't want to have lives on our conscience
Okay.
that aren't necessary.
So you've also been assigned to your squad if you need it. 10 troopers, 5 gunners, 3 techs, and 2 medics to help.
Help what?
Carry out this plan.
Whichever plan you're going to carry out.
So does the engineer think that that's feasible?
He says it's possible.
So I guess the plan that we're following would be go up onto the black ice,
Oh, excuse me.
set it up as if it's recovering, lure the enemy on board, best outcome, take them captive, take over their TIE fighters, load them up with fuel to explode, automate them, send them back, they blow up the capital ship, we buy enough time to get the black ice and the rebels out of there. And at the same time get the chief engineer and any of his other engineers onto disabling the tracking stuff that's on the black ice, or having some kind of ship somewhere, or ship's meter somewhere, to decant fuel or to take fuel cells. It's all up in the open. I say we just start. We've discussed it for 2.5 hours now. We should just.
But is there a ability to remove the tracking device and put it somewhere else, and then have
Not without disabling the hyperdrive.
Yeah.
It's built into the hyperdrive as a safety feature.
So we've got to figure out how to disable the tracking system, but get the hyperdrive going up again before the Empire catch up to us when we ping wherever we land.
The engineer says if you disable the tracking, the hyperdrive will not work.
Can we technically stay in hyperdrive for such a long period that we'll have enough time to get the fuel out of there before they can catch up to us?
You got nothing to transport it across.
No, I mean when we're on the black ice, once we get it into hyperdrive, so it reboots in 2 days, and we zap out of it, and we just stay in hyperdrive for as long as possible, and then so at that while we're in hyperdrive, we're organising something big enough to help.
It's just a slight problem with that is you'll need to upload the astrogation charts.
And that problem.
Don't they already have them?
They did.
Until it rebooted.
Until it wiped the systems.
How long will it take to upload the astrogation?
You can upload coordinates that you do from elsewhere onto it and it will jump, but if there's a problem, you won't know where you are.
What if we're going to a known place for someone to meet us there to get as much of those fuel cells as we can?
Then it will become a race for you to try to get the ship ready to jump again before the Empire arrives.
Is that worth the risk of keeping the fuel?
Possibly.
Is there an ability to shield the transmitting device to basically jam that to prevent the tracker? Since we can't disable it?
He does not believe so. Well, you're basically asking to basically cut off the ship from its hyperdrive.
Yeah.
Could we create a false
Signal?
Signal.
Possibly, but again, he doesn't know what signal it's going to put out now that it's reset.
So we're going to go up there and assess what's going on once it reboots, and in the meantime, wait for the Imperials to show up, try to bluff them, and if we can't bluff them, shoot them, and hopefully just don't die, and hopefully make it out with at least people alive, if not fuel, and, you know, at least some fuel and people alive.
Well, if we don't get to keep the ship,
And if you take the ship before the at 2 days point, that will be the last transport out. Nothing will come back once the ship leaves. They don't have the fuel to come back again.
Can we open
The Major had already said that they have to fill up every time they get here.
So we're stuck trying to hold them off for, what, 7 days?
if we don't get to keep the ship, I still say we turn it into a bomb.
The engineer does have ideas.
It might be.
Making it-
We have to.
Making it go boom and taking out as many of the Imperials as possible is obviously not civilians, but
Well, we've got to be careful
capital
about
ships,
the boom,
etc.
yeah. Alright,
He
well,
does say that the longer it takes for them to register the ship as active, the more time they will ignore it.
So, you're saying we couldn't go up to the ship?
Well, it says you can be on the ship, just if you start maneuvering, they will be very suspicious.
Yeah, no, we're not looking at manoeuvring. Does that mean we don't want to talk to them at all?
He was just trying to give you advice.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm trying to understand the advice he's giving.
The advice he's giving is the playing dead is a option.
So we don't do any communications with them, we don't try to bluff them, we don't try to lure them in, we don't try to attack them.
Oh, if you play dead, they will come in and try to investigate. If you talk to them, they'll probably stay at a distance.
Okay.
Okay. How long would it take to put cosmetic damage on the ship?
There's no need to, there's damage on the ship.
It's just been through a major conflict.
Okay, so we did actually have some damage in that.
Oh yeah, we stuck two spiral class ships into either end of the bridge. And then the engineer engineered a bunch of explosives and booby traps. Yeah, the ship looks damaged.
And he says it's also impossible to traverse the ship from one end to the other because he'd flooded all the passageways. So
Okay.
you can't
So-
actually traverse the fuel pods.
Yeah. So are we able to make this a Trojan horse? Or
He
whatever
does,
the
he doesn't
equivalent
really
of Star
want
Wars
to
is?
stick a bunch of people inside it and try to enter something bigger.
No. So what he's advising is we go up there, we play dead, we wait for them to come in to investigate, then we try to take control of them in whatever way we decide to take control of them, and if perhaps we just take them prisoner and either report back as if we're them or don't report back at all, they'll send more investigative forces to figure it out. But either way, we just continually buy time. Is that
Because
what you're saying?
You're always trying to
Because
buy.
they could send a single ship, they could send a squadron of ships, they could send a single capital ship, they could send bloody Snoke ship for God knows whatever.
Basically, yeah. There's
So yeah, we have no idea what's
so
coming.
many unknowns that we just have to go up there and wait and see.
We have an indication of what they're likely to send based on what survived our attack. Because they're not going to have gone to another system to pick up reinforcements to come back here.
They damaged a couple of their capital ships, but they didn't destroy any of them.
So it really comes down to what do we think of what remains is likely to be sent to try to recapture this ship.
Did we keep track of what remained from the last attack? That would have been a session.
What kind of intelligence was garnered during our attack?
They had a couple of Star Destroyers, a
Holy shit.
couple of escort frigates, and a couple of cruisers.
So it is possible a possibility that a Star Destroyer might drop into system.
It is a possibility, they say, but the Star Destroyers were docked at the time and did take some damage.
What they had here was the Far Run Fixer, 6 bulk freighters, 4 cargoes, one called the Star Bantha 1, 2 container ships, 1 container train, which is the Black Ice, 3 escort figures, Protector 1, Guardian and Security 1. They had 3 maintenance carriers, the Quartermain 3, Telsa Farsand cargo, Bounty Lancer class, 5 Lancer class frigates named 1 to 5, and I think they had something to do with a bounty. I started losing track. There was literally so many ships docked there that I couldn't keep up with writing down all of their
But the
names.
Star Destroyers might have been protectors of the region.
And that was the Imperial Replenishment Fleet DK-209.
Alright. Well, worst comes to worst. Any of our plans so far rely on us being on the Black Ice.
Yep.
So
Well, the Major has requested you take command of the Black Ice again.
me.
Yeah. Well, you're not sure if the Mandalorians will be on fighter duty or not, he says. She says.
Okay.
Someone has to be in charge while the others are busy.
Alright.
And she's sending up the 10 troopers with you. Well, sorry, the 20 troopers. That's
Yeah.
10 troopers, 5
was-
gunners, 3 decks, 2 meds.
I better not.
What are the others good for?
Did
They're good at shooting big guns.
Okay.
Did the engineer get persuaded?
The engineer did get persuaded.
Okay, cool.
And you did manage to persuade the 50 crew that were already there to help.
Yeah.
Now that they've technically joined the rebel base, they expect that they will not survive a return.
Sorry, who?
The 50 crew you also rescued.
Yeah. That because they would the Imperials would by default think they're with the hijacking to start off with. So yeah, they're screwed either way.
Whether they were with it or not, they survived the takeover, so obviously they're faulty.
We had 10
Yeah.
troopers.
10 troopers, 5 gunners,
Yeah.
3 techs, and 2 med.
Thanks.
And the 50 former workers are happy to help out again.
Yeah.
I asked the chief engineer, what was it you were telling me about ships other than the shuttles that we've taken from the ship directly? What happens when other ships try to land?
He says as long as someone's controlling the system, they should be able to land safely. The main thing is that it hasn't fully powered up yet and it's not on automated running, but they have no atmosphere. Anyone who lands has to have their own back suit.
And none of our back suits have got the kind of oxygen supplies that they can run for 2 days. So
Some of the engineers, the techs do say they can bring along a atmospheric generator to get them by until everything's up and running.
okay, so we'll have to do that.
Do pilots of TIE fighters, do they have back suits?
TIE fighters do, yes, because that's their only life support. They do not. The ship does not come with life support.
That's the Imperial cost cuttings.
Yeah. Another indicator of OH&S from the Empire.
Well, from their perspective, they can customize the needs of the pilot directly instead of having to customize the ship. So the pilot can literally jump in any ship and have the environment they need.
Yeah, I can see that.
Which was why it was designed in originally for multi-species. The fact that it's all used for humans is rather silly, he says. They should just build an atmosphere for humans and save money on suits.
Okay.
But it does mean you could put a hole in it and not kill the pilot. And are not reliant on pressurization.
Okay, so does anyone have any further ideas?
I think the plan that we have at the moment is the best of the worst ideas that we have.
I am 1000% certain
So
that
true.
after the game, Martin will tell me all the things we could have done that we didn't consider. And I've tried asking every which way, is there an intelligence roll? Is there an intuition roll? Is there something I could have gathered somewhere over the time I've been a rebel? I've tried every angle to try and get that information legitimately in-game, and I haven't been able to get it, so...
Well, QT7 does suggest that getting people up onto the black ice by the shuttles will mean that you could populate it fully and save about maybe shave off a day of transport needs. Plus, if they could somehow modify the life support system, he doesn't believe it's possible, but if you could ramp it up, you could potentially use it as your staging ground, so ships don't have to land on the surface.
Well, that would be an engineering thing?
Engineering thing, but he doesn't believe it's possible to get enough atmosphere for 500 people. You could easily transfer 100 off it, so you could do it for the smaller freighter of the two, and maybe save it from landing on the planet, maybe get an extra couple of runs from it, because it will take longer to go down than visit the black ice, but that means you'll be constantly bringing people up for it. You've got a couple of shuttles, let's say you've got 8 shuttles all up, so you could potentially spend many hours getting people onto the black ice, and then the rebel freighter can keep coming in and going, and shaving off maybe half its transport time by not having to land on the planet.
Yeah.
Especially if it can find people to pick it up at the other end without it having to land there.
Let's do that then.
But that's QT thinking outside the box.
But
The big risk, he says, for that one is there's a constant stream coming from planet to the black ice,
Yep.
and that's risky for the purposes of Imperial interaction.
Yeah.
But it will save you time.
The drop-in system and see all these ships coming to the black ice.
Mm.
I like our shit.
So either way, there's a risk of something. He would probably recommend that because that would mean less people, and you've got a full crew complement for the black ice, but that will take a while to set up, he says.
Yeah, I say do that then.
We'll roll those dice, I think, yeah.
we're going to have to.
Which does mean that
We don't have much choice.
instead of playing dead, your fighter screen's going to have to engage as soon as they see them. Because if they get enough of a lead from you, you can't catch them. You've only got 2 fast ships. The A-Wings.
Our fighters will have to engage straight away.
Yeah. If you wait for them to come to you, you may not be able to stop them from getting past. And they will prioritize the lesser shielded ships.
So don't bother with the bluffing. Just try and get everything moved as fast as possible.
From his tactical thinking, he believes that you will get more people off planet faster. Maybe save a day of transport.
And if the black ice is running, that's a part of maintaining that bluff, but that's not a part of trying to save that fuel.
And then you'd be basically putting gunners on the black ice's turrets to basically provide protection.
Okay.
He would also try to put it in orbit next to the rebel satellite. Because the closer you are to it, the less likely they'll detect that.
Okay.
As soon as we can provide any kind of manoeuvring of the ship, I suppose that's not a bad idea. But that'll be 2 days from now.
And if something does happen to it, you can act as a intermediary for it if something does happen. As it's completely unshielded, that's basically the lifeline for the planet gone if it goes.
Yeah.
Which is also another reason why you wouldn't want to jump out early.
No.
So at least we'll know roughly where they'll be jumping in from.
No, you don't.
Nope, there's lots of things we don't know.
As a planetary system, you can literally come in from any direction. This is not a planet on a major route. This is off route. So
Surely it would be a reasonably direct line from where we were to where we are.
if they were non-tactical people, yes.
So are you suggesting that they might sort of do a short hop and then come in from a different angle?
Most likely they're already in system, he says.
Oh, that's shit.
They would be sitting on the outer edges of the system where you can't detect them, and then send in their scout force from there.
Alright.
Because you won't detect them coming into system, and if they can use other planets to hide behind, your sensors won't pick them up. It's how the rebels.
I remember why I played this game.
Cutie says that's how the rebels get by Imperial blockades. If they come in and spend 2 days traveling, no one will see them coming.
Alright, let's bulk up the black ice and
Okay, so they've
start with the
got
shuttling.
4 shuttles here. There's another 4 shuttles up on the black ice. They're taking a couple of environmental generators up there to see if they can buff up the space up there to maybe 200 to 300 instead of just 200, 100 each end. If they can get enough for the other ship, they may be able to shave off some more time. Just that they're also pinching from their life support generators for the planet. They can't do both. As they're loading up 500 people to go, they're taking enough.
Gotta credit the
From
Royal
the-
Rebellion. They haven't gone, you bastards. You brought the Empire to us. You destroyed our fuel. They're just like, no, we need to get out of here. We're not pointing fingers.
There are no repercussions yet.
Well, as far as they're concerned, you did exactly what they asked you to. You can't help what happened. You didn't make it happen. You were not responsible for any of the things that went wrong. So they're basically throwing whatever they can at the problem.
It was Vintos Boytok, as far as I'm aware.
Where are those bastards?
A-team leader scumbag.
Currently sitting on another ship in another system. Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
So, as you're on your way towards the black ice, you do get a comms from the planet. They have picked up an Imperial frigate on the edge of the system. Seems to be sending in a flight of 4 TIE fighters.
Okay.
We need to get pilots on ships.
There's about 4 hours until they're due. You're about 20 minutes from the Black Star at this stage. And for a response time, that's not bad. And the fact that they're giving such a big gap, they're obviously worried about what you have. So Mars says it's up to you if you want to do an overwhelming force or just the bare minimum to engage. You only have 8 fighters. You lose whatever you lose now, we can't replace.
Well, I'm assuming that our pilots,
Boom, boom,
Room,
crash,
etc.,
Ash.
will pilot a couple of the A-wings, maybe the X-wings.
I'm not good enough to
No, me either.
fly. And pilot.
Let's see if we got. Look at Thea. You have piloting space. You have gunnery. You are skilled enough to fly. Not a top pilot. You're skilled enough to fly.
Yeah, am I skilled enough to be stuck in one of only 8 ships that we've got available to us? Or should we be sending the best people possible out and saving those ships from being destroyed very quickly?
Well, the pilots they have available for you are their reserve pilots.
What does that mean?
They're pilots who normally fly shuttles.
Work experience kids.
Okay, so
basically me. I've got basic piloting. I don't have gunnery.
What am I? Do I have any? Do I have weapons skills?
You do. You got gunnery. You got 1 rank in gunnery with 2
Yeah.
dice,
Yeah.
and you've got 1 rank in piloting with 2 dice. So you're
Just
probably.
when you wish force sensitivity meant something, without bringing the Empire down on you.
Use the Force, Luke.
Yeah, no, it's not going to happen because if I use the Force, Inquisitors will follow.
They're already not far away, considering what happened on the research
Yeah,
base.
I can't afford to use Force.
Okay, so
I don't know. Can I jump out of my thing with my lightsaber and just like lightsaber the shit out of us? Because that would look cool.
you probably
You've been watching too much. What was it 8th and 9th?
No, I haven't watched 8th and 9th since they first came out. And
To be honest, I haven't actually seen 8 or 9 since they saw them at the cinemas.
I can't actually
Oh,
remember what I
Yeah.
did yesterday, so I got bugger all chance of remembering movie 9. No, I'm just making a silly remark because we're in a dire situation and a silly remark seemed to be needed. Alright, I'll get into, I guess, one of the fighter ships.
So Khalid is almost as good as Ash.
Almost as good as Ash.
No, sorry, almost as good as Thea. I was looking at
okay.
you as I was
I was
thinking
going to
that
say,
one.
Ash is already having serious insecurity problems with Crash. Don't throw
Okay,
so I'm taking the over. That's it. That's enough. Enough.
So Kayana's actually as good as Thea, roughly.
Yeah.
Just not skilled in gunnery, but has more natural ability.
She's always had more natural ability.
And so, as you're looking at things, you probably do have a fairly useful group of people.
So
the only
pilots.
person who, Gum almost has more training than the rest of them.
Really?
Yeah, you've got 3 dice to there too.
I was going to say, this is one
In
time you
Garish.
don't have to
Because
roll.
you have vehicle combat training. Gives you a blue dice.
So, in terms of dice, is there anyone who shouldn't be in a plane? Not a plane, a ship?
It would probably, but you'd probably say that Thea, Gum, and Khalid aren't the best pilots. They're the backup pilots.
Yeah, we've got the same skill level as the rebels here.
You'd want to stick you guys on the ships currently ferrying everyone and freeing up their pilots for the
Yeah.
starfighters.
Okay, so Brum Brum, Crash, and Ash can go and meet the TIE fighters and have a competition as to who can take out.
So with Brum Brum and Ash, how many of you want to have other pilots with you, and how many? If you're in the A-Wings, there are 4 X-Wings and 2 Y-Wings. Do you want to take it all on yourself, or do you want to throw overwhelming force?
I suppose go with, I guess overwhelming force. I guess.
It's just that if you do overwhelming force, they might be using that as a diversion.
You can leave the other 6 ships in reserve in case they're needed.
Take 4 ships.
So 2 X-Wings and 2 A-Wings?
Sure.
Or do you want to put everyone in X-Wings? Because of all the ships, the A-Wings are the only ones that can catch the TIE fighters if they turn away.
Oh, really?
Yeah. X-Wings and TIE fighters matching speed for speed.
Take the A-Wing.
Yeah, you just have to remember the A-Wing's a fighter superiority design. The X-Wing is the jack of all, and the Y-Wing is the bomber.
Yeah, well, it's not much point having a bomber with us. So, yeah, take the
A-Wing.
take the A-Wings.
Yeah, the other thing is the A-Wings can get there and back quicker too.
Yeah, take the A-Wings.
The A-Wings are your fastest vehicles. You do see that there is 4 X-Wings that travel with the Corvette and the freighter, so 2 each, providing escort to try to make sure they get out of system and travel with them. So they can't help you very well, not without leaving their protection.
Yeah, so if we take a maximum of 4 ships. Our 2 plus other 2 that leaves 4 ships to do whatever.
Are you taking the best and brightest with you?
Take one of each,
Okay.
I guess.
You do notice that one of them does the engine noises for it.
Yeah, there's always wind in the car.
Maybe that one should be on a shuttle and I should be in that one. Because if they're down to making noises, I'm fairly sure I'm better than them.
You could if you want to.
I'm not really that confident, but if he really is making just noises...
Well, he is also flying.
Okay.
He is a pilot.
Okay. We have reasonable confidence that he's just not going to sit behind the cockpit and continue to make noises.
He'll probably make noises the entire time. Whether he's effective or not. Whether he's the better one or the worse one. Okay, so as you're heading out towards the TIE fighters, you do get told that they have been able to identify it as 2 fighters and 2 putting out a higher engine output. They do not recognize the signature.
2 TIE fighters and 2 something elses?
2 something else that is basically putting out more power than the TIE fighters.
So bigger ships possibly.
So does that mean they're not TIE bombers?
They could be TIE bombers, but they don't recognize them as TIE
They could
bombers.
also
They're more likely
be
TIE
TIE
interceptors.
interceptors.
Because
TIE...
at the moment the TIE Interceptor is still new and most rebel forces have not seen them.
I was going to say they could be TIE interceptors.
Yeah.
Oh shit, it's not Thrawn.
If it's interceptors, it means it's most likely Thrawn's popped in.
Yeah. And if it's Thrawn, we're stuffed. Like, I already thought we had, like, 0.001% of a chance of getting out of here, but if it's Thrawn, we have negative 1.
There's always a chance with Thrawn depending on his objective.
Yeah.
Are gunships around at this time period?
Gunships are around, yes. The blast boats are around because they're gunships.
Yeah.
So, it's Brum Brum and Ash with 1 really skilled pilot, unnamed. Let's call him...
Richard.
No, that can mean the other guy.
Let's just say you said Richard. Just to...
Okay, so one of them's called Richard.
And the one that's making the sounds, that we're going to call him Kirk.
Kirk.
So he's going to lose his top.
Oh, yeah.
As long as he shoots down, he might end up seducing the
Kirk
other...
shot first.
He'll seduce the other TIE fighters instead of actually fighting them.
Okay, so does Brum Brum and Ash fly in formation? And do they keep pace with the X-Wings?
Sure.
So we've got Richard, Redshirt, and Kirk. Does anyone have a last name for Kirk?
Spock.
He's not going to live long enough, so...
Well, if you're going to go down the Star Trek, you may as well go all out. Kirk, Spock.
Kirk Captain.
Or could be Kirk the Jerk. Okay, so...
No, we call him Kirk James. That way we're not breaching any copyright.
Yes.
Hey, it's a home game. We breach all the copyright.
It's YouTube. Someone will watch 2 seconds of this bit, and then we'll be
Copyright
banned
claiming
forever.
that one!
Okay, so yes, you do pick up that there are indeed lots of ships coming in.
we don't know what the second two are.
You do recognize the profile as they zoom in on it. It is the Interceptors.
Oh god. Did I learn anything about the Interceptors?
They are the fastest Imperial ship in the Starfighters, or the rest of the fleet as far as you know.
Am I able to...
They also have shields.
No, they do not.
I thought they did.
The prototype TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptors don't have shields.
Is this knowledge Brum Brum and Ash will have based on what we discovered with Thrawn? Because I'm pretty sure...
The Thrawn was trialing more advanced versions of them,
Okay,
but they had 3 wings, not 2.
okay, alright.
So they were tri.
Oh, I'm getting confused with the Defender. That's all. Yeah.
One on the above, 2 on the...
2 on the lower bit, so you don't. So when you look sideways, you're not obscured.
So this is base model Interceptors? Not Thrawn ones?
Yeah. You don't believe they're Thrawn ones. But from what you do know, TIE Interceptor pilots first have to pass a tour of duty as a TIE Fighter pilot.
Which means they're bloody good.
So every Interceptor pilot that you come across, you expect to be an experienced pilot.
Yeah, so that they're going to be the ones that Brum Brum and Ash are going to want to
Hose
target
down.
first.
Okay, so we'll move these guys out of the way.
I was going to say, do we need someone to take photos of the thing, or is it seeable from the...
Well, they can see 4 little things and 2 little things, so I'll take these off the blackboard.
Because I'm not exactly up to getting up with my phone.
The Rogue One and the Starfighter Ace. I believe we got Luke Skywalker X-Wing on the board at the moment.
Oh, who's in the Luke Skywalker X-Wing?
I believe that is Red Shirt.
Richard Redshirt's got a lucky...
Yeah, literally Luke's X-Wing for the miniature game. And that was the base Starfighter pilot in the other one.
Peter? You can take a photo of the board and I'll post it later.
Okay, so
Oh my god.
to give you some idea of how this works for you guys, as I look up my fighters, and I do have the boats in here if I needed to pull them out, Ross, just so you knew.
Yeah, you don't want to run into those things.
I don't know.
They're fun to fly in TIE Fighter versus X-Wing.
Yeah, it's just so that later when online people, I'll post them so they can they can zoom in and out and look at what's going on, what went on.
So have we managed to get onto the black ice and set up?
You're on the black ice, and
Guns are set up for the
they are
turrets,
setting
etc.?
up. Though they're at the moment trying to set up environmental systems first.
Cool.
Because they know that the weapons aren't going to be online for at least a day. So the TIE Interceptors would move 6 squares, the TIE Fighters 5, the A-Wings would move 6 squares, and the X-Wings 5. So it is fairly even. Though if you do lose your A-Wings, then sucks to be you guys.
It already sucks to be us.
Well, I did manage to bring out every a unique one of the Rebel ships, besides the B-Wings. They haven't been created yet.
Is that just so that you can show off the miniatures?
No, just because I like to see different shapes. Easier to tell them apart if they're not the same one, whereas the Empire is just all mangled. Because
I
it's
just
like come
double
across a
check,
few
Martin.
ships. Yep.
Did I get any strain back when I was down on the planet at all?
I will say you got all your strain back because I will be nice.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so there's a bigger picture of things to give you some idea of what's happening.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so I will say that you guys can go first, and then the other guys will go. So your ships can shoot up to 6 squares away from them.
Okay. That's they're 12 squares away from the other at the moment. Looks
Probably
better.
about 20.
Okay.
Looks like about a board's distance away at least.
I don't know if the photos hold, but I just said 2 photos that he took of the board.
Okay. So if that moves 6, that's 12. I'm still a bit distance away still. Okay. I'll just move forward 6 if that's all right.
Okay. 1, 3, 4, 6. Assuming that Brum does the same thing?
Excuse me. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Because I should just leave my phone over there so I can just keep taking photos. Just things that don't move.
And that's the interceptors, right?
That is the interceptors.
Gotcha.
So, how would you like your X-Wings to move?
Did we have to do any like piloting space or anything for this?
Not to fly straight.
No.
No. Okay.
And if you have to move and use things like full throttle or something like that. I'd like to have a X-wing one side of each of us, like on one.
They cannot go that fast.
Okay, but one towards the interceptors.
If they split up, they become vulnerable.
Okay, both towards interceptors, because that's the main.
The whole point of ships flying is they fly in formations.
Yeah.
If they actually split up, that's generally saying they have no idea what they're doing.
Fair enough. I'll
They
say
can't-
that
they can't
together.
cover themselves.
We want to take out the interceptors first. So.
And the pilots you have with you are minions, meaning they're weaker singly.
In terms of determining where they are, is that you said they're minions, so will they be attached to one or both of the A-wings?
They would be attached to each other.
Okay.
Minions don't attach to
Okay.
people.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so there's your 2 X-Wings.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the TIE fighters are zooming down to try to come at you from an angle.
So I gather they're just closer together now?
They are...
Because I can't see either the table or the screen.
okay, so let me see if I can... Can't really shift
Sorry,
things
no,
around
you're
that well.
welcome to be up there looking at what you're looking at. I'm not sure what you're looking
So, from my point of view, I need to know is how far away the
at.
interceptors from my ships.
Yeah, I normally have my printout, but
So they're at the edge of, if you move and shoot, you can shoot at them, but they are at the edge of your range.
Okay. Any thoughts there, Marco? Hold back, or did you want
So move and range. So move, we can go a maximum of 6. The other 2 ships can go a maximum of
5.
4.
5.
5. And then we can shoot 6. Is it?
You can shoot the distance you can move.
Right. Okay. 6. Okay. Maybe go. We go forward 3, and the other 2 ships go forward 4. That way, that we're all
lined up? Yeah, I know what you know.
lined up. Oh, actually, move them. Move them forward. Actually, move them forward. Their maximum. Yeah. I was looking at around the other way. I thought we were
That's
the ones down the bottom.
Take photos, but
Okay.
Yep.
not quite up to it.
So
No, that's right.
So the ones that look like little, 3 little sticks are the X-wings. The ones that are just like little triangles are your A-wings. And these guys will turn and basically do an attack run on you guys.
I presume it's not easy or worth it to move that top camera down temporarily.
I can spend a little bit of time doing that, but as we're close to the end of the session, I will try not to spend too much time.
No, that's why I said, is it worth it? You could say no. That's a valid answer.
As we zoom in on people. Wrong one. That way. And
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
So
let's
I
go
can actually see what's going on now.
give me a sec.
the other way.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's getting there. It's just slow to.
It's also my
Yep.
hands don't always work so well.
Yeah.
Yep, all good.
That's perfect.
Okay, so as the interceptors have gone into a attack run, they will be rolling against our pilots at close range. They will flip a point because they want to win, and they are attacking who's lead fighter between Ash and Brum Brum.
I'd say I'd be.
Then they're shooting Ash because they're going for the leader.
That's fair enough.
Hey, if you take a leader out of any squadron, the rest of the squadron is less effective. Okay, so that is not a really horrible hit. So it's a hit that does do 9 damage. On an A-wing, that means you soak 2 of that. Oh, actually, armor. Sorry, shielding. Okay, so in that case, then you'll get a blue dice to shoot back at them. So remember that. You got a blue dice to shoot at them. And you soak 2 of the damage.
Yep.
So it was 9 damage.
No, we 5, I think, isn't it? From 7.
Well, it is an interceptor does 6 base damage. So that would be 8 minus 2 for armor makes it 6, which is meaning that you're going to take a critical hit on your ship from the first volley.
Is that just to Ash?
That's just to Ash. As they hit a 90% on the critical hit chart, which I forgot to bring the chart back from.
What a pity it wasn't a 9. Ash, have you got any way to lessen critical hits on your...
No shit, no. I've only got driving stuff. But I can hit pretty hard with gunnery, so it's more.
Okay, a 99 with, a 90 with 6 puts it at engine damage. Your maximum engine is reduced by 1. He has basically put a crit hit on your engines.
That's fair enough. I can cover that.
That does mean that if they turn around and run, you can't keep up.
I don't know how we get before they have to run.
That's where an astromech comes in handy.
Okay.
Where is R2D2 when you need him?
Yeah.
Isn't it the X-Wings now? Or?
The X-Wings were moved earlier
Oh, yeah, sorry. I do apologise, sorry.
Okay, so they are shooting for Brum Brum. They will not be taking the extra dice. And
you have one blue for later.
there is a black.
Yeah, I've got that ready.
Okay, so looks like Brum Brum has plot armor, as they get an advantage on shooting Brum Brum. So shooting at the TIE fighters is going to be a black dice.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
I'm going for that intercept with that shot me.
Okay,
Now, it's gunnery, isn't it? That's correct.
it is gunnery, yes.
Okay, so I want 4 yellow, 1 blue, 1 green.
Is that the blue that you got
Yep.
from him shooting at you?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've got a lot of white dice, white tokens, don't we?
You do have a lot of white tokens.
I'm going to flip one over for us. So I want to make sure this guy dies. You learn his lesson.
Okay, you also realise that one more hit, your ship's done. You have no hull left.
Okay, we're just going to smash the interceptors, yeah.
Okay, so that and that go away.
Now, on top of this, I have 4 barrage times 4, that's extra 4 damage.
Okay, so the base damage of your laser is 5. So that counts as 5. Then 6, 7. It is fire linked, so that can make it 14.
And then a plus,
Or 14 or a critical hit. Just so you know that on 14, it may as well be a critical hit.
Okay, we'll do a critical hit then, yeah.
So the getting advantages makes a big difference. So you take out the lead ship. And then it would be Brum Brum's go. What is Brum Brum's attack? You also still get the boost on this attack.
Oh, sorry, I was talking while muted.
I assume so.
Okay, so I want to use true aim.
Yep.
So once per round before I make an attack, I may perform a maneuver to gain all the benefits of aiming and also upgrade my attack. Roll once per rank in this talent. I think I've got 1 rank.
You've got 1 rank in it, so that means you make it a.
So I've got 2 yellow, 3 green.
Which become 3 yellow, 2 green because of true aim.
Yep. And can I?
You can spend a white to flip 1 over.
Yes, thank you. And
Okay.
did I get any advantages?
You got 1 whole advantage. Which means that your weapon is technically doing, so as I look it up properly, is so 5, 6, 7, 8 damage on an interceptor that is also an insta-kill.
Yep.
Sort of shows just how
Hooray!
lethal these things are.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mark, at this point your A-wing becomes unresponsive.
Okay, I can't do a mechanics roll or anything like that, or that's next turn.
You will next turn. Basically, you got clobbered.
No, fair enough.
Okay, these guys are doing their 1, 2. Well, I'd have to stop there. That puts them in 1, 2. That puts them just in enough to shoot at the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
Yep. Then
They have a black dice in their attack.
Now, I can't do a leadership roll to boost their confidence or anything like that will help.
Well, you can choose to flip a white dice and give them a better die.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Because they basically get a yellow dice for every extra member in their team.
Cool. Okay.
So when you have a bigger flight, better attack, but less attacks, because they all count as one attack.
Alright.
Okay, so it was a hit, but with an X-Wing. So that's going to mean it is a double attack. So just looking up the X-Wing stuff so I have it available. So for them, it becomes a 12 damage. And they take out one of the TIE fighters.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so the last TIE fighter tries to run, but basically has to spend some time turning. Turning on the spot seems rather silly. Technically they can do that, but they would then be doing drag and stuff in space. So at this stage it is Broom Broom and the other X-Wings, as the A-Wing is currently out of commission.
So I would need to do a piloting to turn, is that right?
No, you could quite easily keep up with it. You have the most maneuverable rebel ship ever.
Okay. So I'll move to.
That is more than enough to be in proximity to shoot.
Yep. Alright, I'll activate true aim again.
So that's 4 yellow, 2 green.
Yep.
Upgrade.
Would you like to upgrade?
As in flip the thing, yes, please.
Okay. Apparently you put a lot of strain on your ship to do so, but as you did 10 damage with your shot, you blow up the TIE fighter, taking out the first wave of investigators. You think they'll probably, as that happens, you get a report in that the frigate on the edge of the system has jumped.
Hooray.
Meaning that they were scanning and watching what was happening.
Yep.
Very much a Thrawn-like thing. You're thinking whatever they do next will be to test your defenses further.
Sorry, can you say that bit again?
I said it's a very Thrawn-like thing to send in a token force to test your defenses and see how you operate. If you had thrown everything you had at it, they may have taken that as a act of weakness.
Did you say that there was a ship in the background?
Yeah, the frigate that dropped them off left. Only after they blew up.
But do we know what the frigate was?
Yeah, what kind of frigate?
You would expect it to be similar to the one of these.
Okay. How many?
Don't get a name or a deep ID or anything like that.
It was too far out.
How many
Ships.
TIE fighters?
That could probably take about 30 odd. So they literally could have dumped the entire lot on the system. And as it is 11:15, we'll be saying that as the A-Wing and 2 X-Wings drag in the disabled A-Wing back to the ship.
Yep.
Which we need that now. We'll try to repair.
You have probably 8 hours to repair it to get it up and running again before you'll need it, you think, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
You've created a window of defense, but now you've lost half your high-speed interceptors. If they come before then, you won't have the A-Wing available.
Everything towards getting it fixed.
So did you want to add anything before I put you to end credits?
No, I'm good.
So next session we shall find out what happens on day 2.
I send a prayer to the founder that I won't die and don't continue to screw this up.
Okay, so...